source. And I just want to bring this up. By the way, I want you to also know that I am not against face masks. But this was published in 2019, before the pandemic. And here's what it says. They've done studies. There is insufficient scientific evidence from RCTs to support the efficacy of hand hygiene alone to reduce transmission of influenza. So they go on to talk about it. It is very important, along with some distancing, right? And I'm not going to read every word, but here's what it says. There is a lack of evidence for the effectiveness of improved respiratory etiquette and the use of face masks in community settings during influenza epidemics
and pandemics. Nevertheless, they want people to use all of these things. Okay? So it says it's generally feasible and acceptable. It is likely, if they're used in combination, they could help. Meaning every little bit helps, right? So they really were uncommitted. They said there's no real evidence, but hey, when you do this along with hand washing, along with distancing, it all can help, right? A little. So my whole theory was, if we're all in this together crowd, that's the club I hear, yeah, we're all in this together. Well, if every little bit helps, then I'm asking a question that no one can answer. Why hasn't the government even made a slight suggestion that we could be helped with vitamin D and with quercetin or with zinc? Because we know it helps. So anyway, speaking of supplementation and all that, I'm not going to drag these guys into this discussion, because if I did, sure as hell, people will be upset. So I'm not going to do it. However, I do have questions about IVs. For example, when I ask for an IV, they'll give me what I ask for, right? I mean, obviously, if it's not harmful. Rocky Mountain IV Medics. There's no doubt that there are IVs that you can do for immunosupport. These guys are not touting themselves, by the way, as a cure for anything. But I advertise for them because I love the service. I use the service. I am a true customer, my wife and I. We get a monthly, and I do the NAD, which is a cellular kind of rejuvenation. They also have Myers cocktails, which is a normal. In fact, we ought to talk about what a Myers cocktail is, because I hear it all the time, and I don't really know what it is exactly. And then they have other things for migraines and stuff like that. So which one should I talk to? We have two people here today,
Gosh,
Sue.
Tom.
I'm going to talk to Ryan until I'm told otherwise. Ryan?
Yeah, I love it.
Hi, Ryan. Ryan, listen.
How you doing, Tom?
Good. Hey, what is a Myers cocktail?
Well, so you've got 1,000 cc's of saline, and then we've got all your essential vitamins, kind of like a general health and wellness, or an all-encompassing cocktail. Yeah. Because of the fact that it's really got most everything that we would recommend to people for almost all of your symptoms that you're calling us for. So you got B-complex, B12, zinc, magnesium, vitamin C, and glutathione. So it's quite a bit into one bag to really get you feeling better. And then if you have certain symptoms that you're really trying to fight off, like migraines, that's when we can do add-ins and such. But that Myers cocktail, man, it's very popular all across really the entire world. We've just added a few extra things to it. Like a lot of places don't have zinc and glutathione because they're a little more expensive to put in the bag. But we want to put it all in there, really get you feeling better, and have that immune system support.
Do you do any vitamin Ds?
Yep, we have the vitamin D IM injections. That actually got started right around whenever all the COVID started.
Right.
We had a lot of calls of people asking for that, and we finally got our doctor to approve it and got it added, and it's been a big hit for a lot of people that have been, not only fighting it, but the vaccine itself as well.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about when you guys did this model of doing it at home, are you simply converting the lack of rent and overhead to keep you subtracted that, and on your books, do you could charge the same as an IV bar and still make money? Or is it better than that even? I mean, I'm asking the business, why is it that you can come to my home and I can have someone sit with me and we talk and I watch Netflix and how can that happen and you not charge more? I'm serious.
Right.
I'm curious about it.
And we're really close. I mean, there's some places that are able to charge a little bit less, but I mean, we're talking $10 to $15 is typically what I've seen as far as on the cheapest end. Some IV bars are even more expensive than we are. And it's not necessarily a savings on the overhead, because now what we're doing is we're converting it to where we've got, certified paramedics and registered nurses that are going to the patient's location to pay them extra for their time and to do that. But ultimately, and I don't know about you, but I mean, if I'm not feeling well, the last thing I want to do is hop in the car, have to drive somewhere, and then sit in a room with a bunch of strangers while I get an IV. So by us coming to the patient's location, it's just been a huge hit. Now, there is absolutely benefits to the IV bars. There's people that love them. That's not to say anything bad about that concept. We do think that that's a wonderful option for those that want to get out of the house.
Yeah.
However, for the most part, if you're sitting at home on your couch, you never have to get out aside from opening the door for letting our RN come to you. It just makes it incredibly easy. And then on top of that, we staff to be able to get to you within the hour of when you call us, because typically, again, people aren't calling us until they don't feel well. We got to make sure that we get there quick to be able to service them. It's funny, we've had some times where people are like, yeah, ASAP, great, we'll be there. Let me look at your address. We'll be there in 15 minutes. And they're like, I need a little more time.
Hey, how do you describe, and by the way, I don't mean to leave out Pam if she wants to talk. I'm not sure.
Actually, I wanted to introduce her. She's a president of our company. So.
Oh, okay. I guess so. Pam is the bigwig here. So, okay. Hi, Pam. How are you doing? Listen,
Hi, I'm good.
And was it your idea?
I wish it was, but no.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, can someone explain in a simple way NAD? NAD.
Sure. I think I did it last time. Pam, I'll let you get a shot on this one. You want to go for it?
Yeah. So NAD is kind of just the spice to life that I think most of us are missing. In a nutshell, it's a coenzyme that all of our cells use, and we're born with an abundance of it. And it's what helps your cells regenerate properly and kind of function the way it's meant to function. So you're able to repair your skin cells, your tendons, your muscles, your fibers, your brain cells. Every cell that's regenerating is able to do properly.
All right. So is there another way to get it? I mean, do foods have NAD? How do we get NAD normally?
So normally it's something that your body makes on its own, but yes, you can get it through supplementation. There's oral supplements, there are nasal sprays. I believe I saw a cream out there, and then there's also IV.
An IV, why does it stay? Juan told me 3 or 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm. I think that's something that is not totally known. Some of the benefits with people, depending on what it is that you're using it for, some of those benefits last a week. Some of them last for a couple months.
Okay.
I think it all depends on your overall health, wellness, and what you're using it for. But on a majority of people, they really find a benefit for about a month period of time.
All right. Here's what I want to say. So many people, email me about this, about IV Medics. Hey, what about this? What about that? So all I'm going to say is this. These guys are standing by. You can email me or you can call. Better yet, if you want to call 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466 or 303-713-TALK. Yes, you can email us or instant message us on Facebook and YouTube. Mark, let me know if we get any of those. And then we'll answer any questions you have. Meanwhile, Mary will talk to you. Julio, I'm very interested in your problem with Blue Sky because Blue Sky seems to be, I don't know. We got some concerns about that company. And also, Janet wants to talk about a funeral expense or reimbursement. We'll talk all of this coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. I'm Tom Martino.
Son of a bitch.
Best-selling author and journalist Stephen Talty tells the pulse-pounding tale of an undercover operation to track down a Nazi killer.
Part of history that seems so bizarre to me that it couldn't have been real. But in 1964, the Israeli
decided that Herbert Zuckers had to die. Listen to The Good Assassins Hunting the Butcher on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Art of Granite. What do I love about the Art of Granite? I love the way they do business. First of all materials are wholesale to you. Now, you can buy them there or anywhere, and any material. They will do any solid surface. Here's the other thing. They only charge for the actual fabrication and installation. That's theartofgranite.com. They haul out and they tear out and haul away free. They also do the bathroom free when you do the kitchen. So all of that means they can give you prices on the phone today. Art of Granite, right? Theartofgranite.com, 303-386-5919. All right. Another small company that does it the right way, and I say small, the Art of Granite is kind of small, but they're big. Simply Floors is kind of small, but they're big. Simply Floors belongs to a big buying group, so they have the same buying power as big boxes. But Simply Floors, the heart and soul is really Buddy and Karen Mitchell. And what they do is take these massive price breaks they get, and they pass on savings to consumers. That's why you'll get 30% off or 20% off or 40% off, depending on what you buy from the big boxes. Plus, you get better installers, better warranties, better financing, better all the way around. And they'll come to your home. Just make an appointment. Simply Floors Inc. That's INC. SimplyFloorsInc.com.
Move into your new dream home without leaving your old one. When you hire the
Troubleshooter Show, what is your first name? Oh, okay. What kind of referral do you need, Norman?
Now more than ever, people want to know if there's anything they can do to help, and the answer is yes. Plasma services.
Okay, and is this for a divorce? Okay.
When you donate plasma at BioLife, you can earn up to $1,000 in your first month as a token of appreciation for your time. So please, become a donor at BioLife.
Okay, let me give you a phone number. Do you got a pen? Okay, it's Bonnie Shields. Sure. Bonnie Shields is her name. Her phone number is 303-798-1927. Bonnie Shields. She's a great family law attorney, okay? You call me anytime. Thanks for listening, Norman, and you call us anytime, okay? Happy to give you referrals. Best to you, bye.
A little bummed out you didn't get to the bottom of the COVID thing, but all right. Could have saved a lot of lives.
God bless. Dragon, Shannon. Dragon.
That bad, huh?
Yes, I don't know. I got up, ran 5+ miles. Probably went
Does
dragon.
Mark chase you with the car on the way here? What the heck? I don't understand.
Oh, I'm just exhausted. I don't know.
You can't drive to Boulder without hitting that Wendy's at 58th and I-25.
Oh, really?
No, my God. At least have to stop and get a double.
I love McDonald's double cheeseburgers. Are so good. I probably haven't had one in 8 years.
It's high time.
Are you all excited on these In-N-Out burgers? I have not even had yet.
Haven't gotten around to it, but I do like the idea.
The idea of not standing in a 3-mile line to get a burger.
I prefer, but I did do 3 hours to get Mary donuts once.
Well, you're a nice dad. The only thing I'm standing in 3 hours in line for is the Killers. Troubleshooter. Oh, never mind. And maybe a few other bands, but the Killers for sure. 21 Pilots possibly. Yeah, I would. 3 hours. Garth Brooks. I probably stand in line 3 hours for him.
Call Advanced Mud Jacket 303-424-9441. Advanced Mud Jacket at yahoo.com. From the Exergen
But not for a burger.
Weather Center.
So I'll wait till the dust settles with all the locations.
I heard that Lone Tree's doing pretty good at 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, really? They're close.
Give spring a whole new sound with Audible Plus. Listen all you want.
Is anyone around? Okay.
There's that one guy.
Mark's disappeared. And
Podcasts, including exclusive series. Start a free 30-day Audible Plus trial when you sign up at audible.com.
contractors bill dispute.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713.
713-8255. Welcome.
The only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. Now, let's talk about, by the way, SaferNet. It saved my bacon a few times where my phone, I hit a link and it wouldn't let me go there for good reason, or where it warned me of something. This is an app you put on your phone, your laptop, your tablet. It runs in the background and it just wards off any attacks. It will not allow things to communicate with you or communicate out if they're harmful at all. It protects you against everything. It's that simple, just for a few bucks a month. SaferNet.com. And here's the greatest part. You get to use it free for 44 days. Just put Tom in the promo code, SaferNet.com. All right, let's talk now to Julio, because this is important right now. And we were talking about Blue Sky Roofing. And Julio, did you not pay them? Why did they put a lien on your home?
Because I don't want to pay the rest of the money because they don't do the job. They live in my house, so they don't get it done to my job.
I get it, Julio. So, when did they start the job?
They really, I don't remember. I have in my papers. They started August. And they just gone and never come back and never get it done. And then I hire another company, and that way they can do everything they miss.
So Julio, you were tired of Blue Sky coming and going?
Yeah, I'm tired. It's a lot of people.
So wait, did you hire another company to finish it?
Yeah, I hired another company, and then I have to pay them because they need to get it done.
All right, Julio, where did your insurance money go?
Well, I pay. They take one check, almost $8,000.
Who did? Blue Sky?
Blue Sky.
$8,000, and then how much? How much did you pay the other company?
I pay $6,000
to finish it.
Yeah. So they put me a lien in my house for $6,000.
No, Julio. Julio, I'm asking this. Okay, you paid Blue Sky $8,000, right?
Yeah, almost $8,000.
All right, yeah. And they did not finish.
They don't finish.
All right.
Right.
Then you hired another company and you paid them $6,000.
Yes.
Okay, but Blue Sky wants you to pay them the $6,000.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but you don't think Blue Sky deserves it because this other company finished it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so how is Blue Sky? Did they actually put a lien on your home right now?
Yeah, they do. They put me in court.
Oh, no. All right, did you explain to the judge that the other company finished the job?
Yeah, but the thing is, they never showed up. The lawyer for the Blue Sky, he never showed up in the court.
So what did the judge do?
The judge do yes give it.
What did the judge do when they didn't show up? Did the judge throw it out?
Yeah.
So why are you calling us if he threw it out?
The secretary for the judge, he called me and she told me the judge just give it the case release.
Oh, an attorney called to get the case released. They're trying to release it, Julio?
Yeah, I don't understand why you're calling. Do you have paperwork that was sent to you by the attorney?
Yeah, I have a paper. I have a paper because the court is in 8th of April. And then I went to the court, the lawyer for the Blue Sky, he never showed up.
Right. And then what happened? What did the judge say then?
And the judge just give the case throw away.
Okay.
Threw it out.
So right now, you do not have a lien on your home.
I don't know. This is what I am going to find out.
Okay. All right. Send us anything that you have, Julio. I have a feeling that these clowns aren't going to do much. But now this is the second complaint this morning on Blue Sky.
Yep.
And I think they're taking advantage of people. I really do. We need to have someone call Blue Sky on both of these and then find out what's going on. It's going to be difficult, but we need to do it. 303-713-TALK. Janet, tell me about this funeral reimbursement. What's happening?
Hello?
Hi. What's going on, Janet?
Well, you were mentioning earlier how our government isn't mentioning, everything to us about COVID-related items.
With the PSAs, which are public service announcements, we never hear them encourage anything about wellness at all. All they say is, the face mask, the staying at home, the social distancing, the vaccinations. We're all in this together. But why not say and make sure that your supplements are up to date or that you have good levels of vitamin D and zinc? And I don't understand why they don't just, and exercise and try to keep off some extra pounds. This would be as effective as everything else. I mean, if it's supposed to be every little bit counts, why would they not mention those things? Purposely not mention them.
I totally agree with you, Tom. And one thing that was mentioned to me, because my mother did pass away in December, COVID-related, was FEMA has a program where they will reimburse individuals that have paid for funeral expenses up to a certain amount of money. Now, my mom I don't qualify for that because my mother had a prepaid cremation plan, but I have not heard anything about this on the news.
Now, what are you talking about? What is this about? You say they will pay toward funeral for COVID people?
Right. If anybody has passed away since January 20th of 2020, they can apply, and it's on FEMA's website. And if they incurred expenses, say if I would have incurred expenses for my mother, I could have applied, and you can receive reimbursement. I believe it's up to $9,000 per individual.
What?
And there's a list of criteria that you have to meet, but it's pretty simple. And there's people, that have lost 2-3 individuals in their family, say, and there is a cap of $35,000. But
per family.
Yeah, it's a real deal. I thought it was $6,000.
I'm wondering.
It might be $9,000.
So hold on. That would be a vested interest for people to want it to be attributed to COVID, because if it is, they get the reimbursement. But why aren't they taking advantage of it?
I think a lot of people are.
You do?
Well, and I had never even heard of it until it was mentioned to me, and
I never heard of it.
You know who told
today.
me? My accountant told me about it.
Really?
Yeah, he actually asked.
So I think,
he asked if you had anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So if anybody has a COVID-related death, they can get $9,000 toward burial. Do they have to show the expenses? Right. Do they have to show the actual expenses?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And it has to show the death certificate, has to do with COVID-19.
Correct.
Have to be a U.S. citizen, I'm reading it right here, or a qualified alien. There's no requirement for the deceased person to have to be a U.S. citizen, not a citizen or national, which is a little different than right above that.
Okay, so all they have to do
and send the receipts in.
They have to show a burial expense and the cause of death, COVID.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do from what Mallory was telling me. It has nothing to do with income either. In other words, everybody qualifies.
Wow.
Right.
Janet, this is amazing because I've never heard of it before, Mark.
There's another one that he told me about that I'm sure people haven't either. If you were out of work due to COVID, now, once again, you didn't have to have COVID. It's almost like
Go
this
ahead.
rent
Yeah.
thing.
Out of work.
10 days your employer was supposed to pay you for. If they didn't, the employer's in trouble. If you're a W-2.
Up to 10 days affected by COVID.
Affected by COVID, your employer was supposed to pay you, then they turn it into the feds, and they get it back from the feds.
For 10 days.
For 10 days. Now, if you're what do they call them,
gig worker?
A gig worker, thank you. An independent contractor, same thing goes. So if you're an independent contractor, like I am in a lot of ways, and you were down for COVID, if you remember, Suzanne and I had it, so we will be putting in for ours. Once again, nothing to do with income. Yeah, up to 10 days.
What will you get paid?
Well, I don't know. I got to figure that out.
Are you kidding? Just because you had COVID?
Yeah, that's everybody. That's not just it.
No, so no matter what, if somebody had COVID,
if you were a W-2,
they get 10 days.
If you were a W-2,
but if you're not a W-2 and you have 10 days,
yes, you can do the same thing as a gig worker. But listen, if you were out because of COVID last year and your employer made you use vacation or normal sick leave, they're breaking the rules big time, and you need to make a call to HR.
But what about
they owe you for COVID?
They can't even use normal sick time?
That's right. In fact, Suzanne brought me in what Mallory did. Credits for sick leave and family leave. It's Form 7202 when you do your, and here it is, self-employed individual. Credit for family leave. So you'll get it right off your taxes, basically.
More coming up.
This is Denver's
that's what a lot of gig workers. A lot of gig workers have no idea the government's going to pay them 10 days.
And you're buying the pizza.
You want it?
Impact traffic.
I'll buy it.
Run the bed.
No. He doesn't need
Ohio City freeway system in
I'm obviously not in this for the money.
Stop and go there between Quebec and Vasquez. Nothing out of the ordinary. The rest of the drive on the highway is northeast state I-25, looking northwest through downtown, traveling into the tech center. No delays on I-70 from Arvada all the way out to Pena Boulevard.
So you'd be able to get 10 days too. Just tell Eric to do whatever he needs. It's literally a part of your tax return. All you do is fill out the form, you get the money.
Fox 31 pinpoint weather.
So you were affected by COVID. I mean, shit, you were at home. There were certain days you had to take off. You'll get tested, all kinds of shit.
6:30 K-How.
In spring, a whole new sound.
I mean, even going to get your shot, you're affected by COVID. That I don't know. I'm sure whatever the max is. I'm sure you can't get more than whatever you did the year before, but you know there will be a max as well.
When you sign up at audible.com.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I want excellence.
But that's one of those things. No, that's where people that go to like H&R Block, they get fucked because how many people say, "Hey, did you do this?"
What's wrong?
You know what I'm saying?
So they'll get up there and inspect it free of charge and without you signing anything. Then you'll know where you stand when the adjuster comes. And
there's some pretty interesting. I didn't know all this video was there. All this video prior to the next stuff. I didn't know was there.
That's because
they didn't show most of it on the news. I forgot that the guy that killed him wasn't the initial officer there. He got called in because the guy was totally resisting.
Came in.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I thought he was like the arresting officer.
For not a dime until the entire job is done. That's the way it's done. 303-761-0000. 761.
So what they're doing now is they're going through multiple.
Everyone's saying that what he did initially might have been okay, but once the guy's subdued,
take on the Mets, Astros, and Phillies.
No, he stayed there.
No. Really, all it's going to come down to is which. There's no doubt this guy committed a crime. It's going to come down to what crime. That's why it's such a big day today.
Yeah, but they won't get to it till tomorrow.
What do you think, by the way? Do you think, I think it's going to be standard. If there's a verdict within 2 hours, this guy's the top. He's whatever the biggest charge is, they got him on. And I think if this thing goes over a day, it's going to be down to, manslaughter. Doesn't it generally go that way, don't you think?
Well, yeah, if somebody's like, a quick verdict means usually
you're fucked.
It means you prove your case.
You don't have to, and if you need help with a real
Yeah, if they go back there and ring the bell 10 minutes later, man, you know you're good. Especially this case.
Equal opportunity lender, regulated by DORA, NMLS 136756 for terms and conditions. Call 44445.
Hi, I'm host Robin Roberts, and on a new podcast from iHeartRadio, COVID-19, Immunity in Our Community. We'll hear
Did you see the video of a different cop, and I think it's even a different city. Might even been a different state, but I don't think so. That pulled him over. They showed that, and he wouldn't take. He was just total fidgety. Was acting like he was grabbing stuff. I mean, it was kind of in other words, all they could do was show that, hey, when this guy gets pulled over, this is how he acts. That's what they were trying to get through.
Mark, what I've seen cops do, they're fucking overreactors. They are.
Oh, big time, man.
And it's because they're trained. They don't have gray areas. They don't have. This guy's mentally taking easy on it. This guy doesn't really mean.
What if I told you?
No, they don't know. They have no idea
to buy and sell a home.
Well, and they could use better training. You know, the best shit I've ever seen are all the arguments where the people that live in the community are the ones policing the community. I think that is the way it should go. Where that lady shot that black dude the other day, thought it was a taser. Not one cop. That what was it called? Miami or no? Brooklyn. Not one cop. Not one on that entire police force was from there. They all came in from outside. That is kind of fucked up.
Another client said, "We didn't have to carry two more."
Don't you think if you were dealing with, your community, your neighbors? What? Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Well, then you got to ask yourself, why can't you find them, right? Are you not paying enough? What?
That's Orchard.com. Again, Orchard.com.
It's spring, another tax filing deadline. Unfortunately for some, more back tax debt. Or worse, you're afraid to file. Reality check. The IRS is in full force, vigorously making up for lost time. Better get larceny tax relief on your side because...
Geez, I don't know, man. They might... what time is it there right now? What is it, Central?
Larceny specializes
they might actually have time. I mean, they're going to... This is almost done, man.
Never do on your own when dealing with the IRS. Don't fall prey to herds.
This guy had a really shitty attorney, I'll tell you that. I don't think that guy was that good.
Well, where did he find him?
I think he's a public defender.
With their team efforts at LarsonTaxRelief.com. 844-LARSON-TAX. We're lucky to have them right here in our backyard. Friends, allies, neighbors. Call for
I'm looking right now. Is Eric Nelson
Larson Tax Relief.
a public
The Ribble Group sells homes faster and
defender? I'm almost sure he is, man.
What's going to happen?
No.
Talk station 630 KHOW.
Police union? No.
Yes, some of it, yes.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I had no idea that you got reimbursed for funeral expenses
for COVID-related deaths. And I had no idea that anyone affected in any way by COVID could get up to 10 days pay. And it's on this year's on last year's tax that you're doing this year. Wow. Perhaps we should get one of our tax people on to talk about that to see if anybody's doing it and how they do it.
Yeah, so this guy here, Mallory gave me this. He crossed the guy's name and social off, but basically this guy
when Mark refers to a Mallory, he's talking about an accountant. Go ahead.
So this guy made $138,000 the prior year. This year, for his 10 days, they did the proration math. He got $5,110
off of his taxes.
Well, no, I don't know. If you don't have a credit, I assume they give it to you, but I'm not sure about that part.
Let's ask Eric, 303-713-TALK. Missy has a question on funeral expenses. Go ahead, Missy.
Yes, my dad passed away in January, and with COVID, and my brother filed for that FEMA funeral pay, whatever.
Yes.
Anyway, it states in there that, they'll assumingly they'll cover it if there's no actual burial or funeral insurance.
Okay, so I understand.
My question is, the estate is going to pay for the funeral expenses. So I'm not sure if they act like they want the receipt, that
Wait a minute.
already paid.
Well, if the state's paying, then I would think that would be the same as insurance. You wouldn't get double paid.
No, I mean the estate.
The estate.
Oh, the estate, not the state. Well, of course. What do you mean the estate? What do you mean the estate, dear? What do you mean, like
the person's paying for their own funeral?
Yeah. Well, of course. Of course, there are receipts available.
She's asking if they'll reimburse an estate.
Of course they would.
Why
they're
not?
not paying out of pocket.
Well, I see. Oh, I get what she's saying. These people.
We didn't.
Go ahead. You're right. You're right.
No, they are paying out of pocket, though.
They are, because it's less in the estate that you guys will get.
Yeah. So I was just.
See, here's what I say.
My brother and I looked at it. We looked at it, and it kind of implied that they wanted the receipt with the filing.
Well, go ahead.
Had already been paid.
But if it's being paid out of the estate, someone somewhere is getting less.
But they may want to reimburse the estate compared to reimbursing the family.
So reimburse the estate, and then they take it out of the estate. For all intents and purposes, these people are the estate now. So when they become the representative of the estate, whatever's put into the estate is shared by the estate. So it doesn't matter if they reimburse the estate.
There's no way, because this situation happened a lot of times last year.
Yeah, I would say they've already thought that out, Missy. Seriously.
The estate probably won't be closed for, at least another maybe like 6 months or something.
But you don't have to wait for it to be closed.
Okay, because we've applied for it, but somewhere my brother was trying to say that they want the receipt that we've already paid, like if he paid for already, somebody already paid for the...
show the receipt.
Oh, because, what? Yeah, why can't you get the receipt?
Till the estate is closed.
No, you don't. Then, you go to where they were buried, and you get a receipt from them, and it'll say paid by whatever, checking account and the name and all that. I think you're overthinking this. It was paid. The place that was paid, you don't have to wait for the estate to generate a receipt. The place that took the money will give you a receipt immediately.
All it wants is a receipt that includes the applicant's name, the deceased person's name, and the amount of funeral expenses.
I need to ask a question here quickly. Again, I ask that people call if they have any questions on Rocky Mountain IV Medics, but I'm going to ask Pam. She is the boss over there, and I want to ask you, Pam, on they want to know, what if I'm already sick? They put in caps, not COVID, but they think an IV will help them. Will you go to someone's home if they're under the weather?
Oh, absolutely. We do all the time.
That's good.
That's when we want to come to you. Yeah, we want to come to you when you're not feeling good, because we can help you feel a lot better. You don't have to leave your home. Snuggle in your bed or couch or on the bathroom floor, whatever it is.
All right.
Where you are, will come directly to you.
All right, that's very good. Thank you. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. I ask, if you do have questions, give us a call, 303-713-TALK.
Tell your smart device to play 630 KHOW on
iHeartRadio. Then you can hear news and talk that impacts your life.
Getting 630 KHOW from iHeartRadio.
Denver's talk station. Available on over 2,000 devices. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Audible.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, the Mile High City Freeway System, well, you're going to see typical delays in certain spots. Downtown, southbound I-25, a bit slow there from Spear heading down towards Colfax. A nightmare of a drive in Commerce City, westbound I-270, solid stop and go between Quebec and Vasquez, eastbound slow from I-76 to York. Watch out for a bit of delay on westbound I-76 approaching the Commerce City exit. Otherwise, the highway drive across town in decent shape. No stalls or accidents being reported at this time.
John, give me your theory on vitamin D. Call in.
With a high of 33, right now light snow, and 30 with your Impact Traffic and Weather. I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Give spring a whole new sound with Audible Plus. Listen all you want to thousands of select Audible originals, audiobooks, and podcasts, including exclusive series. Start a free 30-day Audible Plus trial when you sign up at audible.com.
When I tell you you can get free legal advice when you need it the most, I really mean it, and that is from Fuller Law. Go to referralist.com and search Fuller or John Fuller, and you'll bring up the listing of our accident attorney, our personal injury expert, John Fuller. He can evaluate your case free of charge. If you're in an accident with injuries, call him. He will talk to you with no obligation. And even if you decide to hire him, there's still no out-of-pocket because he works on contingency, which means he only collects when he collects for you a small percentage. 303-597-4500. Call for your advice. 303-597-4500. All right, another person who will answer questions. Are you seeing the theme here with my referral list members? They're experts dedicated to helping you, like Blake Harris at MileHighEstatePlanning.com. You can call Blake and ask him questions about estate planning, wills, probate or staying out of probate, trusts. What about issues regarding a power of attorney? Or maybe you want to talk about a payable on death certificate for a specific account or a beneficiary's deed for a home. Whatever it is, he can handle it and put together a comprehensive plan. You don't pay for the talking and the advice. You pay only flat fees when he does something for the estate. 833-ASK-BLAKE. All you have to do is ask your question to Blake Harris, attorney at law. All Google 5-star reviews up and down the Front Range. Appointments nights and weekends even. 833-ASK-BLAKE.
Warning. This product contains nicotine.
Okay.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Say hello to simple you can savor. Velo dissolvable nicotine lozenges are smoke-free and hassle-free and made to enjoy virtually anywhere. Why? Because they dissolve, but the flavor doesn't. So go ahead and enjoy on your time and on your terms. Velo lozenges are available at a convenience store near you or at Velo.com. Get yours now. Website restricted to age 21 plus nicotine consumers. Nicotine products. Underage sale prohibited.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Leak Filter is America's #1 gutter guard. Guaranteed to keep gutters clean for good. Get 15% off your purchase now. Call 844-300-LEAF.
There. Damn you. Dang, mothers. Dang, mothers. Mothers, tell your children not to be cowed out.
How did you know? You must spend a ton of time reading.
Not at all. I use Blinkist.
Blinkist?
Yeah, it's an app that takes key insights from over 4,000 nonfiction bestsellers and gathers them.
How do you find the
for you to read or
attorney, Mark? Who's the attorney?
You can learn the main points of
He was hired and mostly paid by the police union. I don't know why I thought he was a
from personal development
whatever.
History.
I guess you're right. Some attorney would jump on this regardless, right? I mean, just for the
work week,
notoriety.
This makes it easy to learn about pretty much anything.
You know, like the stars.
Yeah, even the stars.
Right now, radio listeners get 25% off. Plus,
I just didn't find the guy that Pelling. I just didn't.
To get the special offer, go to Blinkist.com.
Is that right? It's Pelling?
That's
Compelling.
Thank you.
Well, but impelling is like, I mean, actually, it could have. That's why I didn't say anything. Impeller is a pump and it pushes. So I thought, well, that's a novel. Impeller.
That's how I meant it. So calm down.
Now's the perfect time for the.
So anyway,
my diction, baby.
So anyway,
man, you shoved down that Coke like.
I should stop, right? You sound like Stephanie now.
You had well, I'll say this: up till COVID, you gave it up pretty much cold turkey.
I hated it, and I hate coffee now, Mark. I can't stand it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I try to drink it, but I hate it.
Will you drink it like at Starbucks?
No. The only time I drink it is here when we have something that I like, when we have those little cakes. For some reason, I'll have it with something, but I can't stand drinking coffee. In fact,
that's probably a good trade.
I wish I had a good drink to drink. I don't have it. I used to like green tea, matcha. I fucking hate it. My body just goes on waves where I hate something, then I love it, then I hate it. Like right now, I'm liking this, but I'll bet you it'll change.
I bet you never not like pizza.
Tell me about it. I'm always chasing down signatures. I go through pens and shoes like
Same
children.
with sounds like you need Adobe pork ribs, man. Baby back ribs. I've never not liked baby back ribs.
No, but there are times I'm not in the mood for them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, barbecue is definitely in the mood for it.
I can finally take these shoes.
We're going to Maggiano's tomorrow, man. For Addie's B-Day. We haven't been there and ate family style forever. 1919.
She's still a baby. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK.
713-8255. Mary's got a dispute on the bill here. What's going on, Mary?
Hi there.
What's happening?
I basically want to know if I have a right to adjust an invoice on a contractor's prices that were never discussed ahead of time?
Well, Mary, when you talk about a right, if you're asking, well, yeah, we have a right to do anything that we want if it doesn't harm people like that. But what I'm getting at is, well, we don't know that. It's because, a contract is a contract, and if they're not sticking to the contract, everything is negotiable. It's better if you give me a specific example. What in the contract is in dispute?
Okay. In the contract, what is in dispute is the reclaimed wood that he used upon his suggestion.
Yes.
And he put shelving in the fireplace wall.
Yeah.
But he didn't say how much it was going to cost. It made he sounded like he just had it hanging around from a previous.
No, hold on. I don't get what it does. It say will build shelf with reclaimed wood?
None of this was in writing.
What do you mean? You don't have a contract?
Job on the fly. Well, we had a contract for the first part of the fireplace remodel, but this was the second part.
Okay, if there was no contract, how did he build the shelf? Did he one day figure, I'm going to build a shelf?
No, this is all verbal.
Well, tell me, how did it initiate?
He just said, I have some wood would look really cool up there. Everything,
Okay,
put a shelf.
Fine. And did you say, and then did you ask, well, how much will that be? Or did you say, yeah, that sounds cool?
I was very hesitant. I was like, I don't know.
Okay.
He said, I think it'll look really cool. It's going to really look cool.
Okay. So then what?
So then he proceeded to do it.
Well, what makes you think he shouldn't be paid for it?
Oh, I think he should be paid for it.
Okay. How much is he charging?
We feel like he overcharged.
How much is he charging?
He charged $785
for a shelf.
For a plant shelf on the bottom and a shelf on the top.
How? Without knowing it, I mean, So here's the thing, Mary. You don't have a contract. So you can ask him, where'd he come up with the price, and you never agreed to it. But then there's something called, they always say quantum merit, meaning merit, which means you agreed to something, and he gave you something of value. Yeah, you can negotiate the value. It's kind of not fair, but it's also not fair on you. But the burden is on you to kind of, well, actually it's not. It's on both of you. You both went about it wrong. You just assumed tell me what price he would have given you that wouldn't have raised an eyebrow. You would have paid it without a question. Give me a price.
Well, that was our adjustment on the invoice. It's $500.
Okay, so tell him that. Say, look, I don't think it's worth $785. You never mentioned how much it was going to be. Let's settle for $500. What the hell? I mean, you both did this wrong, so it's up for grabs.
Did the job overall look good?
That's what I wanted to know. Yes.
Okay, the job looks good. Here's what I would do. First of all, I'd never let anyone do anything without knowing, okay? But if I thought something was unreasonable, I was caught in that situation, I would say, hey, dude, this is like 2 shelves here. I don't think it's worth $785. How about $500? I would say something like that. I mean, remember, you got it. It's in your house, and he's got more power than you do because he can put a lien on it.
That's my question.
Well, of course he can put a lien on it. But it's called the law will always look at what's reasonable.
He's not going to go through a lien over that, though. No way.
I don't think so. But the law will always look at what's reasonable, Mary. What's reasonable? By the way, $785 on first blush did not sound unreasonable to me for anything. No, I'm serious. If he supplied the wood and did the labor and it's built in, about what size is it? About what size? How wide are the shelves?
2 by 6, 5 feet long.
I would see. I don't think it's unreasonable, but Mary, it's all negotiable. It's all negotiable. Listen, we have a lot to talk. Deputy Doc wanted to say something about NAD. Go ahead, Doc. Please don't get medical on us. Go ahead.
So just let me make this clear. If you think of your body as like a battery, there's a chemical called ADP and ATP. So the way your body gets energy is by changing the TP to the DP.
Okay.
What NAD does is it facilitates the conversion of ADP to ATP. So your body has all these stores of these chemicals to use to give you energy when you need it. So without that NAD, your body has a hard time converting the ADP to ATP.
Excellent. And does it normally just wane with age?
Well, it wanes with the amount of NAD that's naturally in your body.
Okay. All right. That is good, actually. Very simply put. We love it. We'll talk more with Rocky Mountain IV Medics coming up and your questions. 303-713-TALK.
This is Bill Lamphere, General Manager at Cooney Lexus of Green.
He did make it simple.
#1 Lexus dealer in Colorado in both new and certified.
He actually did that very good.
I mean, everything that I'm reading says, if you're not feeling good, it's a good thing. Like, that's your means your body's responding.
That said that on the second shot. They didn't say that for weeks later, though. See that? I heard that too. Like I got that 4-hour reaction.
Yeah, remember you had a rough night.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is the thing. All I know is I've never gotten back to normal.
You're just like totally fatigued,
totally
sore.
Totally sore. I don't think I'm fatigued actually.
Are you brain fog?
But the pain makes me fatigued. No, just you know how pain just fucks you up. I don't know if you've ever had it, but I'm just like hurting. I'm just hurting, and I can't move like I usually do it. So that's all. So I'm thinking, that maybe it's that. I don't know. I'm not.
You don't even know for sure.
No. But it's like I didn't have anything, and now I do. I'm not sleeping different. I'm not working out differently. I didn't do anything differently.
Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
Have you been listening at all to his argument?
Just when I was in there.
The defense now making its closing arguments in the trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin charged in the death of George Floyd. Prosecution finished its presentation. Prosecutor Steve Schlescher telling the panel George Floyd did not die of a sudden cardiac event or drug overdose.
Believe your eyes. The unreasonable force pinning him to the ground. That's what killed him.
Following the defense, the prosecution will be given a chance for rebuttal.
Did you see this, dude? Look at this.
This afternoon.
Look at this video. Let me pull it up.
Has abruptly shut
fucking
down
amazing.
the emergency center in Houston that was housing migrant girls who crossed the border.
You'll love it.
More than 400 teens were transferred from the center.
You'll
amid
fucking
reports
love
of unsuitable conditions.
Ready? Yeah.
More than 50%.
Oh, I saw it.
You did?
Fucking crazy.
Look at that
Well, I
shit.
don't understand what happened. Did his engine give out?
Yeah. They said it just had been done. It took 18 years to rebuild it and to restore whatever. Yeah, I don't blame the whole plane. 18 years. Well, maybe if it's in the military. I wonder if you could almost drag that fucker up onto the beach and salvage it, right?
As France moves to begin lifting restrictions, French President
Look at that
Macron
bend
told
like
CBS he foresees at least
Even though it hits water.
returning to Paris this summer if they have gotten back.
Someone
to
told me at
of a negative COVID test.
not 1,000 feet, but it's 500 feet. It's literally like hitting cement. It's the same force.
Deaths just last week. Government
Although I watched this doc called The Bridge, and these guys were jumping off the Golden Gate, and some of these fuckers survived, so it definitely can't be like cement, or else you wouldn't live.
Well, they're just by some freak.
Some shit.
Like their feet first or something. Well, their feet would always be first, I guess, but they just didn't flop around. Because if you do this, it'll be hard.
So the saddest one on that, this one guy jumps off, he lands like right next to a fucking boat and they get him out real quick. Now he's a paraplegic. So this guy that wanted to end his life is literally now stuck in a wheelchair. And as her interview him, he's like, I can't even kill myself now. And he's like, there's no bullshit. I mean, he's being dead serious. I don't know. It was filmed a while back. Maybe they can. Look what these guys want for what I just bought. I don't say it on air.
See, that's as much as I pay for a year old. You know that, Mark?
For a Coda? Oh, that's right. That's it. The Elantras are expensive.
Are the Elantras more than these?
Some of them.
Oh, and she likes these better. Is this considered a model under that?
No.
And why? I think they look better, actually.
Yeah, they're cool.
I think Bonnie's a lot more cool than that.
When does he turn 16? 2 years? How old is he? I thought he was 15. No, they're 2 years apart.
He's 14, she's 15. She's going to be 16 now.
Yeah.
And he'll be 15 in November.
So they're about, what, a year and a half?
Yeah, exactly. Bonnie just acts so fucking old. He's just too different. You know, he's a totally different kid.
Does he got a best friend?
Yeah, he's got a few, but he's got one right now that seems to be
cool. Same interest.
Oh, yeah. Which guess is what?
Gaming?
Who's got the worst record in baseball?
You know, even at his age, though, man, I had an Atari. In fact, I got my Atari 2600 when I was probably 13. And it was, it was pretty popular.
Traffic Center, as the lunch hour gets going, it's going quite nicely across town. As far as stalls or accidents are concerned, none being reported.
I'll tell you my favorite shit, though, when I was a kid, say 12 and under. I loved playing outdoors. I loved building forts, climbing trees. I mean, that was my whole life, man.
City Drive, eastbound slow from I-25 to about York, westbound stop and go between Quebec and Vasquez, and a bit of delay downtown on northbound I-25, either side of Colfax at this time. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Going to be areas of snow and fog today with a high of 33. Right now, fog and 30. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a bacon double stack, 4-piece crispy or spicy nuggets, fries, and a drink in the $5 biggie bag. That's 2 fresh beef patties, applewood smoked bacon, and juicy chicken, all for just $5. Secure the bag with the most value. Get the biggie bag. Price and participation may vary.
It's spring, another tax filing deadline. Unfortunately for some, more back tax debt. Or worse, you're afraid to file. Reality check. The IRS is in full force, vigorously making up for lost time. Better get Larson tax relief on your side, because a tax collection pandemic is coming. How else are they going to pay for all those stimulus checks? Larson specializes in emergency and long-term tax relief. Emerge from the pandemic way better than you could ever do on your own when dealing with the IRS. Don't fall prey to herd stupidity, putting off tax problems. There's no tax forgiveness. Get the guidance and care from my friends Ron and Jack Larson. They guarantee you'll be satisfied with their team efforts at LarsonTaxRelief.com. 844-LARSON-TAX. We're lucky to have them right here in our backyard. Friends, allies, neighbors. Call for your free evaluation. 844-LARSON-TAX. 844-LARSON-TAX. LarsonTaxRelief.com. You don't pay a cent until you're content. Only with ExcelRoofing.com.
It's the Dan Kapla Show. Afternoons 4 to 6.
Dan returns on Monday from the freedom of Florida to the confines of Colorado. Governor Ron DeSantis of the Sunshine State says vaccinated people should act immune. Governor Polis say the same here. Tune in at 4, right here on 630 KHOW.
Denver's talk station.
Guys, you're on in about 10 seconds.
Enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Green. That's green. Enter it now at KHOW.com. Keep listening to win with a $12K a day giveaway. This is the Troubleshooter Show.
All right, guys, you're good.
The Troubleshooter.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. This hour brought to you by Genesis TotalExteriors.com. Stucco, siding, windows, doors, gutters, fencing. Listen, when I say exterior, they also do interior jobs like basements, kitchens, and baths. That's Genesis. He named it that because they get in from the very beginning and work through the whole thing. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Now, let's talk, because we have a lot going on.
Hey, real quick.
We have a lot of cases we're going to be reviewing with our deputies, because we take cases sometimes and work them behind the scenes. And at other times, of course, we solve them right almost instantly, and some we can't do anything about. We also have Rocky Mountain IV medics on the line if you have any questions. And I do have a few emailed questions. I ask if you have any you'd like to talk about. Now's the time. Go ahead.
Man, did we have a great time over the weekend.
What did you do?
It didn't matter. We went out to eat. Douglas County is open, baby. I mean, I saw just a few masks, and I'm talking in the restaurants, outside, 100% capacity. It felt like the old days for the first time in a long time. For all you suckers that don't live in Douglas, visit us out there. Everything's open.
Well, things seem to be getting back to normal all over the place.
No way. We drove down into Denver, and man, you walk into Walmart, there might be one person out of 1,000 without a mask. It's a whole different ballgame.
The mask is the state mandate, right?
It doesn't matter.
It's a state mandate.
Well, tell that to people in Douglas County.
I don't know why.
Or better yet, tell that to people in Elizabeth, where I don't think they've worn a mask from day one.
It's pretty open, isn't it? I don't see people with masks outside a lot.
I was just out this Saturday night with my girlfriend in the bars downtown Denver. It is pretty open.
Yeah, it is.
How about, is it still only 25% down there, though, technically?
No,
they're back up to 100%. They try to do social distancing, but they're back up to 100%.
That's right. You know, I wouldn't mind if they never get back to non-social distancing. I think so. I think we were always too crowded. It has nothing to do with COVID. I just think it was, well, really, people were jammed in
but that was even by design. That was where they wanted social distancing. Did they make you go every 3 or 6 feet on a plane? No. Only where they want you to, which is restaurants, bars.
By the way, we have a number of different things going on. I asked a question, why doesn't the government promote wellness? Really, you know, you hear Fauci talking about face masks and social distancing and washing hands. You hear everyone talking about that in all of these PSAs, public service announcements. Under the guise, every little bit helps, and it really does. Okay? If every little bit helps, I'm all for it. I really am. You know, I'm not going to split hairs. If they want me to wear a mask here and there, I'll do it. If they want me to social distance, I'll do it. Of course, I'm going to wash my hands. You know what? I don't want to make too big a deal out of some of this stuff. I'd rather do that than these useless shutdowns they had that there was no scientific evidence ever that shutdowns slowed down the spread ever. Okay? The other thing, and by the way, you'll never hear that on the news because the news is a puppet of the government right now. But here's the deal. Why don't they promote wellness? Like, why don't they mention that obesity is a leading contributor to complications with COVID, or that most people with severe cases have had low vitamin D and zinc levels? Why not? Why not mention that vitamin D can help you? And not as a cure, okay? But every little bit helps. So why not social distance, wash hands, wear mask, and by the way, it's been shown that higher vitamin D levels help. Why not? Anyway, do you have a theory, John? Go ahead. What's your theory?
This is a great open question, Tom. I think that supplements aren't regulated by FDA. They're not prescribed by doctors, so it's hard for big pharma, big medical to monetize it. You're absolutely right to use common sense and not just... It goes back to your thesis about a month ago where you were talking about how people just want to sit around and trust the government to solve all their problems versus thinking about wellness, versus thinking about prevention, versus thinking about being overweight. But vitamin D, zinc, and those other supplements absolutely help. You may also want to look at the relationship between Dr. Fauci and the Wuhan lab, the virology lab, and also how Dr. Mercola has been silenced throughout all this, just censored. But you're absolutely spot on. I wrote an article about you, and I just went ahead and updated the article and sent it to you and Sue so you can see my 5 bullet points.
And by the way, John, I know that you blog a lot, and thanks for the comments, but here's the thing. Fauci, to me, has no credibility, I swear to God. First of all, here's the way it turned out, and this is published, by the way. This is what Fauci says. This is what Fauci says directly, and you can read about it in Medscape.com, but it's quoting Fauci. Listen to this. About 40 to 45% of all COVID infections. Now, remember, these were all the cases they were blaming Trump for. So almost half of them are asymptomatic, meaning there were simply the presence of viral particles with no symptoms. From Fauci's own lips comes Anthony Fauci highlighting the latest COVID developments on Friday. Says it is now clear that about 40 to 45% of all infections are asymptomatic. Now, in another quote I have from him, a year before this one, he says that no epidemic is spread by asymptomatic carriers. It is not the generator of pandemics or epidemics. So, all of the numbers they use to control you can be cut in half. In half. So, where they told you there were extreme cases, and CNN, they had that fear-mongering, more cases today. Half of those were asymptomatic, will never get COVID, will never spread COVID. So, yeah, I understand it's nothing to play with. Okay, but don't exaggerate it. No matter what. When people say follow the science, you know what's funny? They don't follow the science. So here's following the science. If 45% of all the infections reported are asymptomatic, and they will never spread the disease, nor will they get sick, then erase those from all your stats. They're gone. Yeah. Think about it. I mean, think about that. They're gone. And therefore, could not drive lockdowns and severe measures as we've had. See, they only used those numbers when they needed to make things look worse. But as I told you, right after the inauguration, right after they got what they wanted, all of these numbers would be adjusted for reality. And that's exactly what happened. You never hear them ever talk about, today, this is how many died. This is how many new cases we have. Because they're not counting cases that go beyond 17 cycles of amplification. 17. They used to go up to 60. That means they would take a sample from you and they would run it through their lab. And if it didn't show up in the first cycle, they'd do it again. And then they would amplify it using modifiers to strengthen it. They would do that. Each one was a cycle. They call them CTs. They went up to 60. And if you had just a speck of virus after 60 amplifications, they called you a COVID case, even though not one of you above 24 could ever spread the disease nor get it. Not one of you. But they did it until January 20th, when they changed the way they report cases. Why doesn't that piss you off? Why, for God's sakes, doesn't that piss you off? Don't you feel played? And I'm not talking politically. We're played by everybody. I used to be a protester and a rabble-rouser, and I was young and I was distrustful of everyone. And now that's how our youth is. Our youth, no, the opposite, I mean. Now us old farts are the ones raising hell, And the youth are saying, control us, please control us. Tell us what to do. Please. We love you. Tell us what to do. We want to follow the science. Anyway, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have more coming up. We're going to talk about Rocky Mountain IV Medics. We'll talk about Zillow. By the way, Zillow offered this one guy more than he could get on the open market, and he can set his closing any day he wanted. I say if there's no obligation, why not check out all these people to see where you get a good price? And, of course, we love Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, as a source as well. We have more coming right up on the Troubleshooter Show.
Hi, this is Joe. All right, Ideal Home Loans, fix it 24/7, about 25 seconds. Becomes reality. You need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell.
Can you believe now they're saying 45% of the cases, 45 are what? Are not cases anymore. They're asymptomatic.
About 10 seconds, Ideal, and fix it.
So the very numbers they use to oust.
475 Greenwood Village, Colorado, 80111.
Ideal Home Loans is the place to go for your next loan. Why? Not because there aren't other lenders. Everyone does 30-year fixed loans. But here's where Ideal is different. And you'd think the others would catch on, but they haven't. How about the interest rate guarantee? That's right. It's that simple. You refi with Ideal, and you can refi free of charge if rates go down. You never get caught, ever, because Ideal has you covered. The other one is pick your own term loan. You don't have to go back to 15 or back to 30. You can pick whatever term you want. Not to mention all of their other benefits like credit optimization and more. All you have to do is call them to get started, 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. That's 303-867-7000. Okay, here's another simple way of doing business, a $39 charge to get someone to your home background checked, insured, and bonded, and they are in your home to find any problem with plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, or drains. That's Fix It 24/7. FixMyHome.com is the website. They'll find the problem, give you a list of options to correct it. If you decide on getting work done, you don't have to pay the $39. It's credited, but that's all you pay if you want to simply move on and keep shopping. FixMyHome.com, 720-526-3939.
Do you ever wonder why some companies have built such a solid quality brand while others struggle with their quality of service? It's simple. It's all about the company culture. If ownership takes quality care of their team members, then their sales, admin, and service techs feel obligated to treat their customers with exemplary service. This is what happens when you use Weedman of Greater Denver. Hi, this is Terry. My management and co-ownership team include 5 former golf course managers, including our director of operations, Brad.
I don't know how shop is her business.
Our combined history of extreme caring for our team members and customers, along with a franchise award-winning reputation.
Unless if they're full of shit and they really do deal with it. And they just act like they don't.
No, they one price, they're serious.
Weedman. No other company has been able to control the weeds that drift over from the neighbors.
They're
and
serious.
Our lawn looked so good, my neighbor commented how great it looked. I highly recommend them. Thanks, Patsy. That's quite a testimonial. Lawn care companies are not all alike. Our caring culture sets us apart. Go to WeedmanUSA.com today.
Season quality, the reason people trust K&H Home Solutions. Beautiful windows, siding, and doors, bringing better than more.
65 years in business. Happy anniversary to K&H Home Solutions. The best products, installation, and warranties. K&H has what you're looking for. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. Such amazing products and special anniversary deals. Soft light windows, $650 discount on each one. The only window earning the government's Energy Star rating 7 years.
Tell me?
Everlast siding,
Because they like to think they're being...
off. The most durable, color-fast siding ever. And $1,650 off Trovia entry doors.
So Trump's going to be on Hannity tonight.
Some minimums apply. Call for details, 303-421-7.
I wish someone would kick off a new Twitter or whatever.
At K8 Windows.
I emailed you a little note from Rocky Mountain IV Medics. I don't know if you got it or not. I just emailed it in the last 5-10 minutes.
So many businesses
just something they wanted to talk about or off of the NAD stuff. Did you get it?
To maximize the efficacy and efficiency of your marketing budget and your online presence.
That was their text.
You're probably falling behind your competition. Because right here in Denver, Get Found Fest has been helping people for 15 years. And unlike other companies, Get Found Fast does not require you to commit to a long-term contract. So when you're ready to get found fast, get started at getfoundfast.com. That's getfoundfast.com.
When it's all about the money, you gotta do it right. On the How to Money podcast, investors Joel and Matt talk tips and tricks for handling the money you have in a purposeful, thoughtful way that works for your lifestyle, so you can really start living a rich life.
Turns out that debt makes you dumber, potentially lowering your IQ by 13 points. And we all know that I don't have the points to spare, buddy. So, debt really is more than just the interest you're forking over.
Listen to Have Money on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection.
The 2005 NFL Draft's top overall pick, quarterback Alex Smith, announced.
Did anybody ever fight that the government can't make you wear a mask? Or
the 49ers in Washington. The Rockies get an off day today, but continue their 8-game homestand with the Astros in town tomorrow. John Gray will get the starting nod. And the Broncos are making the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine available to former players in addition to current players.
Don't fucking do it.
I'm Kitty Haffer.
Identity thieves love tax forms with personal info needed to steal your identity. That's why LifeLock protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RED.
Back in about 10 seconds, guys.
Do you know a good school to get your pilot's license?
You ride to work, and all you have to do is say, Alexa,
Yeah.
630K
Was it in Denver?
station.
Yeah.
Available on over 2,000 devices.
Aston Flying Club.
Austin?
Aston. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Not helicopter.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome to the show. And we have open lines now. You can get right through with any problem, question, or complaint. One woman did point out that there was an article where Fauci said, yeah, I take vitamin D, and it makes you less susceptible to infection, and also vitamin C. And I couldn't read the whole article because you had to sign up or be part of something, and I couldn't do it. But in any case, there was one article someone brought out. And again, we have Rocky Mountain IV Medics with us. And in addition to Myers Cocktail we talked about and NAD, they do any number of different supplements, whatever you really want that they have. And we're going to go over that. Like, for example, I advertise that if you have migraines, you can call them. I'm not sure what people do for migraines. Now, again, I'm not asking them to prescribe anything, but they must do something for people with migraines because we get some feedback from people that have used them for migraines saying that it was wonderful. So what do you have? Do you have something called a migraine formula? What do you do when people have migraines?
Yeah, this is Ryan. I'll take this one, Pam. So basically, the migraine patients, first of all, any of the IVs truly will help. But whenever our medical professionals arrive, they're going to check your vitals. They're going to talk about your symptoms. They'll give you a customized recommendation based on that. So there's not necessarily just hey, here's a migraine package. It's based specifically on the symptoms that you have. So Myers Cocktail, as I mentioned, is just kind of that general all-encompassing, going to get you feeling better. For our migraine patients, we're saying, hey, let's get, instead of just medication, we want to give you medication, give you immediate support, but like all medications, even orally, they wear off over time. We want to give you the vitamins and minerals that your body needs to truly heal, because our bodies have the ability to heal whatever is going on. Sometimes it just needs the fuel to be able to do that. So, again, migraines typically is going to be Myers Cocktail, extra magnesium, and then you've got Toradol for the pain, and sometimes that migraine includes throwing up, nausea. So we've got the Zofran that we add in there as well, too. But whenever they arrive, we've got the full menu. Nothing is pre-mixed. We're able to customize it specifically to what the patient needs. And we're not upselling them anything that I don't want our medics and RNs to give them stuff they don't need. If they don't have pain don't give them Toradol. If they're not nauseous and throwing up, don't give them Zofran. We want the best IV that's actually going to be effective, get them feeling better, so that way the next time it arises, hey, who are they going to call? They're going to reach out to us.
Okay, I want to ask, because we did have someone asking about Toradol. What is it?
Mm-hmm. So it's an anti-inflammatory. So it's basically like the IV form of ibuprofen. And because of the fact that it's going directly into your bloodstream, it works extremely fast. It's kind of one of those where typically our patients that we see, and it's not just necessarily migraines. We have post-surgery. We've got joint pains. We've got body aches, things like that. I mean, before we're even gone, they're already starting to feel better. And it's really a neat thing for our medics and RNs. They work all day. Say, for example, some of them work at the fire station. They drop them off at the hospital. They don't get to see what happens after that. Whereas whenever they're working for us, it is non-emergent, of course, so it's a little bit different. But, they arrive and they see what the patient looks like and how they feel. 30 minutes goes by and they're already up walking around, walking them out the door. And it's really kind of a neat thing for them to be able to see the patient truly feeling better and able to go out and enjoy their day.
There are some healthcare people, providers, that say that most of the population walks around in a day dehydrated most of the day. Mm-hmm. Do you know that? I mean, that's incredible. Oh, yeah. So how long does the hydration part of it last? I mean, if a lot of people, obviously, that don't drink enough water, this is not going to take its place. But I know some of the vitamins can have longer effects, and the NAD and all the other stuff. But how long do the other things, does the actual hydration stay in your system? How long are you hydrated?
Yeah. And that's the whole thing is, like you said, I mean, there's studies out there that say you got to walk around with a gallon of water and just constantly keep drinking. But then you're in the bathroom, every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But no, ultimately, what we tell people, and we get that call quite often, how long does this last? How long does the hydration last?
Yeah.
The vitamins? And ultimately, it is based on your body and how depleted you currently are. If you have no hydration, you're severely dehydrated, it's going to get those fluids into your body, into your bloodstream, but now you're only 50% hydrated. So you still need more. It's going to use it up that much faster. It's almost like a sponge.
Okay.
If the sponge has no fluid in it, it's going to soak it up really fast, but it's still going to be dry. And then the other side of it, if you're super hydrated, obviously you're going to start just peeing it out, and it's not going to last as long. We usually tell people, though, hey, ultimately that month time frame is probably the most common that we see, where you really feel the energy effects, the hydration, your skin feels better. And then over time, if you're not doing regular maintenance and drinking and eating healthy, you'll start to get back to where you were.
Of course.
I'd say in about a month. Everyone's body's different, but that's the benefit of this type of concept is you don't have to pre-plan it out. So we tell people, try the one IV, see how you feel, and then go from there. If it takes you a month, call us in a month. If it takes you 3 months, call us then. And the benefit to this, too, by doing this on a regular basis, is it's kind of like working out. Over time, you're not going to need it as much because now your body has the vitamins it needs. It knows how to use those. So now all of a sudden, you wake up in the morning, you know what? I don't need 3 cups of coffee anymore. This is crazy. I only need 1. And
how about cannabis? Is there THC or cannabis in IVs yet? Is anybody doing that?
No. None of that yet. But I'm sure our phone would be ringing off the hook if there was. So,
no, we were talking about because CBD.
Well, I mean, even for cancer patients and stuff. I'm shocked there isn't yet.
Yeah. I don't even know if they have a form they could put it in like that.
I've heard of it out there, but because we are mobile, our doctor wants us to work on the effective but extreme safe side of everything that we do. So if that concept gets out there, it's going to be quite a while before that's something that's added because of the fact that there's really just kind of a negative feeling with a lot of people out there too. So that's the other side of it is, public perception.
Of course.
How are they going to feel? Even if it helps, we want to make sure that they're comfortable and they know that what we're doing is under an ER doctor with medical staff that is certified well beyond the services that they're providing.
Yeah. And again, they can do it at home. How late do you travel? People wanted to know that too. That's another question.
We're actually 24/7. So it's our normal.
Are you kidding me? So people can get it at night.
We get calls at 1 a.m. sometimes. So because that's ultimately, you're sick any time of the day. Happen. But here's the thing that we want to make sure people are aware. So Our normal hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Outside of those hours are subject to medic availability and a $100 after-hours fee.
Okay.
That after-hours fee essentially goes towards paying our staff to, hey, get out of bed at midnight.
No, I know what you're saying, but 8 to 8 is pretty damn good too. I mean, that's So,
definitely.
Okay, so this is Rocky Mountain IV Medics. If you guys have any questions or any problems, questions, or complaints, give us a call. Of course, we're solving problems every day on the show. 303-713-TALK. Open lines right now.
This is David Ellis's break. Tom Martino, yeah. About a minute. Plus today at 4, 6:30, KHOW.
Just go to 24/7.
Now, impact traffic.
This report is sponsored by SmartMouth, the only 24-hour mouthwash with twice daily use.
From the Bedford Sports Traffic Center, for the most part, travel on and off the highway across the Mile High City in pretty good shape right now. The drive on I-270 is still a bit of a nightmare. Westbound slow between Quebec and Vasquez. Eastbound stop and go between I-76 and York, so just watch out for those delays. Otherwise, you're in pretty good shape across town. A few minor blips here and there, but nothing to write home about. There's a crash off highway. The cleanup stages at 58th and Quebec. Police remain on the scene best to avoid the area for now. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Going to be areas of fog and snow the rest of the day today with a high near 33. Right now, overcast skies in Denver and 32. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-How.
There's
David Ellison, about 10 seconds ago.
than bad breath. Luckily, SmartMouth mouthwash has got your back for 24 full hours with 2 rinses a day. SmartMouth is available anywhere mouthwash is sold, so pick up a bottle today or visit smartmouth.com to learn more.
Rocky Mountain IV Medics, by the way, they're on. But I want to tell you now about David Ellis. David Ellis Jewelers is the place to go to sell your old gold and silver. I say old. What I mean is, if you have something with precious metals, no matter how old it is or how tangled or how broken, bracelets, earrings, maybe one earring, or you have some other things. Even some people have cups or statues, or they have other things like coin collections and broken watches. David Ellis, a trusted name in jewelry for 40 years here in Denver, 3rd and Clayton, in the Cherry Creek shopping area. You can go and get money for your precious metals, and you can trust him live and local. DavidEllisJewelry.com, 303-322-8779. I've known David for the entire time I've been in Colorado, and you'll enjoy meeting him. Plus, he has a great store there if you want to buy something, but nothing is obligated. Of course, all you have to do is go and sell your precious metals. 303-322-8779, 3rd and Clayton.
Spring means that the weather.
You know, that's funny because you did have Rocky Mountain IV Medics in this break, but I just skipped it.
And more. Use the power of radio to connect with spring spenders. Advertise on stations like this one to reach consumers wherever their travels take them. Use iHeart Ad Builder to create your own custom radio ad quickly and cost-effectively. Just click, listen, approve, then hear it on the radio. For a free customized ad, sign up now at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
The house you're living in right now, could cost you less. You've just got to refinance to one of these historically low mortgage rates. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky from my friends at American Financing, reminding you there's never been a better time to get an absolutely free mortgage review. No obligation and no upfront fees from American Financing. It's just a simple, easy conversation around which program might be a better fit for you. Because rates really are still near historic lows, and or you can benefit even if you refinanced or bought a home last year, you might still be eligible. It could mean a lower monthly payment, it could mean thousands or tens of thousands in long-term savings, and you don't have to restart your term. You know what else? You might even be able to postpone 2 mortgage payments, so even more upfront savings. Don't put a refinance off any longer. Rates won't stay this low forever. Call 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net.
So it was banned.
Lead Filter is America's #1 gutter guard, guaranteed to keep gutters clean for good. Get 15% off now. Call 844-300-LEAF.
Okay, did you try to address it with Big O, or did your customer try to address it with them? And what did they say?
It's an app that takes key insights from over 4,000 nonfiction bestsellers and gathers them into 15-minute links for you to read or listen to. With Blinkist, the main points of an entire book in just 15 minutes, as opposed to days or weeks.
Yeah. Sure.
Fiction books in over 27 categories, from personal development, history.
Got it, man. Let's try to help them then.
Looks like a beautiful mind. Work week, economics, and savings. Blinkist makes it easy to learn about pretty much anything.
Like the stars.
Even the stars. Right now, radio listeners get 25% off, plus 1 free week when you go to Blinkist.com/relax. To get this special offer, Blinkist.com/relax. That's BLINKIST.com/RELAX.
Are you concerned about outliving your money? Call 866-901-2255. That's 866-901-2255 for your complimentary Save Money book and join Al Martinez for the Retirement and Income Radio Show on Sunday.
Great. Thanks for being simple about that, Paul. I don't even sound like I need an expert because you sound like the expert. So let's get started on this, see how we can best help these folks, okay? Thank you. Hang on and listen to the phone, please.
At 7:30 a.m.
Facing a job loss? Considering a pension buyout, a severance package, or what to do with your 401k? Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, and I can help. 720-488-8604. That's 748-8604.
KL is your chance to win $1,000. Listen at
2-1-C.
for the 12K a day giveaway. Listen for the keyword and enter it on our website, KL.com, for your chance to win $1,000. Sponsored by Geiger's.
The free sale is going on now at Geiger's. You can take $7.
All right, you guys are back on about 10 seconds.
Stop by any of their 22 Front Range locations and save today. For locations and hours, visit GUIRYS.com. Geiger's, your neighborhood paint store since 1899.
Tom Martino here,
713 Talk.
Silverleaf Mortgage for
Reverse loans. My friends at Silverleaf will take care of you. They even have a nonprofit foundation to help seniors in need who have to fix up their home to get it ready for an appraisal, deferred maintenance, and the like, and they can do that for low interest, no interest, or an out-and-out grant. Silverleaf Mortgage. If you're 62 or older, you can use the equity in your home as you see fit, maybe not to have any payments, to have a line of credit if you need it, or emergency funds. That's silverleafmortgage.com, 720-REVERSE. Michelle has a question or a comment on common law marriage. Hi, Michelle. What's going on? Our number is 303-713-TALK. What's going on, Michelle?
Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call.
What's happening?
So, my dad has been living with his partner for over 20 years, and he now has some health issues, and it seems that she doesn't want to continue with this relationship.
Okay, now, when they were living together, the time is not relevant. What is relevant is how they held themselves out. Did they present themselves as married? Did they commingle funds? Did they have each other down as spouse anywhere? Or was there any evidence of a marriage?
They did present themselves as married. They did not really commingle funds.
Okay. And is there any reason either one would deny it if one brought it up? Because here's the biggest problem with common law marriage, because I suspect that's why you're calling. She doesn't want anything to do with him. You think maybe she might take advantage of this in the split, or what? What is your main reason?
Exactly.
Okay.
That is exactly my main reason. They own, she owns 2 homes, one of which he built. And so the homes are in her and her daughter's names. And I just feel like this is kind of turning into, it looks like a setup almost to me.
How long have they been in their names? From the beginning?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So what would be considered their primary residence?
One here in Colorado.
The one in Colorado. How long did they live there together?
They've lived there for probably at least 10 years.
Did she live there before that?
No, he built it, and they both moved in together.
And he built it, meaning what? Did he put blood, sweat, and tears into it without getting paid?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was there a loan on the home when they moved in?
I don't think so.
But she is on the deed from the beginning with her daughter from the beginning?
I believe so.
And what was the understanding when he built it and they moved in?
He was fine with that. I mean, he built it.
Did he just expect to stay there the rest of his life?
Yeah, I mean, they intended to live there as a couple for the rest of their lives. And in the meantime, they bought a second residence in another state. And
is she claiming they're hers, all hers, and nothing his?
Yes.
Well, that's not going to work. Does he have any evidence they held themselves out as married?
I think most of their friends and acquaintances and, most people that know them believe that it is a common law marriage.
Okay, so let's see. Here's what we can do. I want to consult, if we can, Harris Family Law and ask them about this. But here's what I'm thinking. If you have any evidence whatsoever, did he have a job? Did she have a job? Did they put themselves down as spouses for benefits?
I wouldn't think that they did. I think most of the time that they've been together, they have been already retired.
Did he file did they just get together 10 years ago, basically?
No, they've been together for about 20 years. But then they would have both been self-employed to where I don't believe that they would put anything down for health.
And then, okay. So, did they ever file taxes together?
No.
Did he file unmarried?
I would imagine, yes.
Okay.
And I'm sure she did the same.
Well, then that could be a problem. But there's still substance over form. And that is, what was the substance? He'd have to fight it. And that's where we need to get a legal opinion. And the other thing is this. He's not, what he would be entitled to, let's say, if they were married on the house, is half of the increased value from the time they moved in, or half of the home if they moved in together. So on both houses. I mean, does she really believe? Now, who's been making the payments on the house? Oh, there are no payments. Is there a loan on the house?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Does she truly expect not for him to have a dime after living there this whole time?
I truly believe she does.
Did he say that?
The other thing that he's not wanting to admit it, but I believe that's really the case.
Okay.
Now,
I
have another sort of interesting twist in here.
Yeah.
And that is, every month he writes her a check
for what?
$400.
For what?
Well, that's what we aren't sure. It's just kind of like his...
I hope she didn't. Hold on. I hope she's not smarter than you think, and she didn't do that as rent.
And it doesn't list it as rent on the checks. It's just a check.
Yeah, but what if she says it was, and what if he agrees? I mean, there's got to be a reason he wrote her a check.
Right, and I just think it was just kind of to help with household expenses.
Who paid well, $400 a month is nothing. Did she pay for everything else?
I think she does, yes.
Well, I mean, come on now. What about taxes? What about insurance? What about utilities? I mean, $400 a month doesn't pay anything. I mean, did she take care of it? Listen, Michelle, I'm going to put my, the shoe on the other foot, as they say. Did she take care of him all this time?
No, really, I would say they've been taking care of each other.
When you said he built it, did he hammer nails? Did he saw wood? Did he build it?
Yes, and he was always a contractor his whole life.
Okay.
So he,
Was it his money that built it? He bought the equipment, he bought the materials, he bought everything. Did his money buy the materials when he built it?
Not all of it, no. I'm sure that was a combined situation for them.
And she's just brushing him off because he has health problems?
Yes.
Seriously?
She just feels like she just can't handle having to possibly be a caretaker.
How old are they right now?
So sad.
How old are they?
She's almost 80 and he's 81.
Aw, come on.
I know.
This old fool, she just wants to leave him because he's getting old and they've been together all this time. That's sick.
It's very sick. That's
Where is she going to go? With her daughter? Did she tell him to get out? What did she say?
She hasn't. We're in the process of getting him back up here, getting both of them back up here to Colorado.
Where's the other house?
Arizona.
Hold on a second, all right? Just hold on. We need to get an attorney on this just to talk to anonymously. 303-713-TALK.
Now, about 1 minute, full of law and master.
Mark's going to do both.
Sponsored by SmartMouth.
Okay, Mark. Yep. Thank you.
We're out of network.
Mile High City and
We are?
Right now. A couple of slow spots on the Highway Drive, eastbound.
Who was it, Fuller and what?
Oh, shit, Mark.
That's all right, I got it mastered.
Northbound I-25, a little.
Go get an IV drip.
Otherwise, you're in pretty good shape across town. Crews are still working on that off-highway crash on the northbound side of Quebec at 58. Watch out for police on the scene. Best to avoid the area if you can. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Snow and breezy conditions for the rest of the day with a high of 33. Right now, overcast and 32. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-How.
If you talk to
Full of law and Master Rooter coming up 10 seconds.
Need SmartMouth, the 24-hour mouthwash. You want to turn heads, but not like that. SmartMouth is the only mouthwash that can provide 24-hour fresh breath when used twice a day. Pick up a bottle of SmartMouth today or visit smartmouth.com.
You know, when we do live spots for folks, I pull up what I call a cheat sheet. I generally always just do it. I'm not actually following the script by any means, but I pull up a cheat sheet that has a phone number, website, stuff like that. But a lot of them that I personally use, I don't have to have any kind of cheat sheet. John Fuller's one of those guys. Suzanne and I were heading back from Sam's Club. Some lady ran a red light screaming at her little kids in the back. Blew right through it, T-boned us. We ended up in the hospital. Car was totaled. It was horrible. You know what, though? I called up John Fuller. He basically held our hands. He was the quarterback and drug us through this process. And without him, it would have been mind-numbing. He basically handled everything. And when they didn't want to cough up what they actually owed us, guess what? John said, fine, we'll see you in court. He ultimately ended up settling and got us the maximum amount that policy had. There was no more to get. And then get after my daughter got rear-ended about a year later and her car was totaled, John Fuller was the first call. If you need a personal injury attorney, you got to call this guy. It's not one of these huge law firms where you're just a little number inside of a big cog. He is the man. John Fuller, Fuller Law, personalinjuryco.com. Or write this phone number down. Put it in your phone. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. Now, Master Rooter Plumbing. Why I like these guys and what sets them out from everybody else is simply this: a free estimate on any plumbing needs. They will send a licensed, insured plumber to your house or to your business and give you a free estimate. No, there's no tricks. There's no trick charges. As long as they don't have to do any work for the estimate, they'll come out and actually give you a free estimate. Now, if you ever need a sewer line or a water line, there is no better pricing in the Colorado market. Master Rooter Plumbing, 720-434-3406. They're great at what they do, and that's plumbing. Master Rooter Plumbing.
The Good Assassins Hunting the Butcher podcast is part spy thriller, part detective story. Best-selling author and journalist Stephen Talty tells the pulse-pounding tale of an undercover operation to track down a Nazi killer.
A part of history that seems so bizarre to me that it couldn't have been real. But in 1964, the Israelis decided that Herbert Zuckers had to die.
Listen to The Good Assassins Hunting the Butcher on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you've ever sold a home, you know it's a hassle. From the prep work to open houses, not to mention the surprise showings. What if I told you there was a stress-free way to buy and sell a home? Well, go to Orchard.com. Their Move First service helps you buy, then list your old home once you're all moved out. That means you'll never have to deal with showings, open houses, double moves, or double mortgages. And to make sure you get the best possible price, Orchard can also handle making repairs or updates, so your home is list ready. Joe, a recent Orchard client, said, "With Orchard, we got our new home for $10,000 less, and got asking price on our old one. Highly recommended. Captain, another client said, we didn't have to carry 2 mortgages, didn't have to rush to move, and most importantly, we beat out 7 other offers for our new home. Go to Orchard.com now, enter your address, and get started with a free valuation. It's that easy.
That's what you said last time. You felt great.
Yeah,
I did after I worked out.
One of the best things about my radio show is having experts involved from my referral list to help.
I can tell you're mentally drained. I can actually tell that because it's bothering you. You don't feel good.
Advice is Excel Roofing, the first roofer
I'm not a good old
on Roofers.com 25 years ago. I know I can rely on Excel's advice when listeners call with roof problems. When I needed a new roof, I used Excel. You did too. In business since 1993 with more than 36,000 satisfied customers. Excel is your insurance claims specialist. If you think you have roof damage, call Excel first. Excel also has a full-service repair department. They can help you with any roof problem. I get this.
What the
Most
hell?
roofers ask for money up front, and that's
Did
where
you
the
know
most
you had a
problems
donut on the
start,
car?
especially when they don't show up or do bad
Look at the
work.
donut.
But at Excel, you don't pay a cent.
Whose car is
until
that?
you're content.
I don't know.
Floyd's or what? Or whoever?
6400.
It was the car he was in, yeah.
6400.
Man, I've seen dudes doing, 90 miles an hour down I-25 with them little fucking donuts, and I just sit there and shake my head.
Easier than ever. Introducing Angie, the app that puts all your home care needs at your fingertips. Need a pro to fix that emergency leak? Maybe find someone to build a deck, or even set your seasonal tasks on autopilot. Angie can handle all that and
You know
more.
my car's still in the shop.
Hundreds of home projects, clear pricing,
That
and the
means
easiest way to
there's
book
one or
and
two.
This is Angie,
No.
your home for everything.
I had a windshield on.
Download the app today.
Is it fucked up?
I'm Dr. Andrea
How can
Russo,
it be
a
fucked? How do you fuck up
cardiologist.
a windshield?
Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right
Was it
now.
cracked or
But if
something?
you're having an irregular heartbeat,
They
heart
did it
racing,
wrong.
chest pain,
Did it leak?
shortness of breath,
Yeah.
fatigue,
Oh my
or
God.
They're
lightheadedness,
fixing
don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation,
They got
which
caught.
can make you
I don't know
about
how,
5
but it
times
got
more
caught.
likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms,
They won't
don't
be able to
wait.
tell.
Talk to a doctor by phone,
You're honest.
online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Now more than ever, people want to know if there's anything they can do to help. And the answer is yes. At
I wish I
BioLife
would have
Plasma
known.
Services,
Heard this
your
around
plasma
the
is
city.
desperately needed to create
Did they
life-changing
prove
medicines to help treat people with immune deficiencies. Those who are most now.
All right, gentlemen, back on about 10 seconds.
$1,000 in your first month as a token of appreciation for your time. So please, become a donor at BioLife.
Did you
Visit
clean up any of your
BioLifePlasma.com
wraps?
to learn more.
I haven't yet. How soon are you trying to get me to do that?
And I want you to do one about like what we do.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Who do we have? Oh, from the Harris Law Firm. We have, and by the way, harrisfamilylaw.com, excellent divorce attorneys. They have a team of attorneys. They all have their own expertise. I love this firm with the early neutral assessment, and I'll be giving out that number very shortly. Here's what I want to ask. Katie, thank you so much for taking time out. I got to ask you this. What if, okay, not what if, it's happening to Michelle's dad. Michelle's dad is 80, okay, or 81, and his partner is 80. She wants to leave him because he has health problems. They never actually got married. And Katie, are you there, ma'am?
I am.
Good. Okay, so they met about 20 years ago. They're 60, and he was a contractor. He built a home they eventually moved into 10 years ago. And she's on the deed with her daughter. He was never on the deed. There was no loan. But he does pay her $400 a month. We don't know what it's for. It doesn't say anything. He just pays it to her. He's lived with her. She's lived with him, however you want to put it. They also bought a second home. Now, they bought a second home. Michelle, this second home, where'd the funds come from for the second home?
I believe she probably bought it.
Okay, but now after being together 20 years, she's basically saying take a hike. Really? And she's keeping both homes, right?
That's what she wants.
Now, Katie, you may not be able to answer before the bell, but we'll call you right back. But Katie, every once in a while, they held themselves out to be married. However, there's no written documentation. They didn't have employment where they had beneficiaries, or covered each other under insurance, and they don't have any other evidence. They didn't file taxes together. Is he out of luck?
So the funny thing about common law in Colorado is that although things like filing joint taxes can be an important factor to prove that there was a marriage, the court will look at all kinds of other evidence. We've had common law marriages determined based on things like the birthday cards people gave one another, that said happy birthday to my loving husband or my favorite wife or, something like that. So it's not necessarily that you have to have assets jointly titled. It's unfortunately not a very clear-cut area in Colorado law.
So, but is there any doctrine of fairness where partnerships come into effect that even if they weren't totally married? I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying, Katie. If this guy came to you, wouldn't it be suspect to you? I mean, they were together for 20 years. They're in their 80s, and now she says goodbye.
Yeah, and so the good thing is, even if the court doesn't find that they were married, he may still have some rights to the property under sort of contribution theories, just like if you went and bought a piece of property with your brother or sister and you provided the down payment, but it's in your brother's name because he had better credit.
Yeah, and he also helped build the house. He's a contractor. If you guys could hold on, Katie, if we have to, we'll call you back. By the way, HarrisFamilyLaw.com, the Harris Law Firm, 303-515-5000. That's 303-515-5000. We also have some other questions that came in for Rocky Mountain IV Medics, a very important service. Stick around.
This is Bill Lamphere, General Manager at Coon Lexus of Green.
Hey, Angie is in Dubai or somewhere. Who's that?
You have an 888 meeting before the start of the next hour.
All right.
So
I got it.
Before we come in.
Someone on Facebook just said it. I knew she hasn't been with Brown forever, but I thought she was still with Mandy, but she got called up for reserves.
Who did? Angie?
Yeah. Well, you don't see a lot of women in the reserves. You got to give it to her, man.
Commercials for simplyfloorsinc.com because
I thought she was a hippie.
Use them.
No, I never thought she was a hippie.
If you're in the market for flooring, you have to check.
How about that header shite, man? Him getting called up. Chiropractor running his own practice?
First of all, I didn't even know that he was in it.
I didn't either. You know what people really don't know about, and they never tell you in high school anymore that I know of, is a GI Bill. You realize you give up 4 years, they'll pay for fucking almost anything. Now, there's some, they're not going to send you to Harvard, but I mean, you're going to go to a really fucking nice school.
They'll send you anywhere you go.
Well, they're not going to pay for anything. There is limits. But it's an unbelievable deal. I always thought it was citizenship. How about you do 2 years and then you can become a citizen? I mean, that proves more than most people born here that you love country. Or do you think that would be poo-pooed?
Well, it shouldn't be. I have my whole thing about fucking college. I don't even get into it.
Yeah, I know.
Motherfucker.
See, I just disagree that I don't think it would turn out more graduates. I just don't think some people...
I just want them to have the chance.
I know, but that's
it.
What I'm saying is that people that don't have the chance, I'm not so sure they would be able to just get in. How's that?
Well, because it would take a while, actually, because the way society is now, they're not even geared, they're not even thinking about it.
I know, that's what
I mean, it's too bad they're not even thinking about it.
If their parents aren't saying do it, if
I
their parents aren't even making them go to high
school. I had a woman in social services tell me, well, here, not everyone's cut out for college,
Well, that's a little different.
No, she said, if you can afford it, but if you can't, there are plenty of good careers, plenty good trades you could have.
Fuck, that's true as hell.
Your dad's a barber. I know, but I said, come on, I want to go to college. I didn't have, I just have a whole idea about college there. I don't want equal fucking outcome. I want equal opportunity. It's the only thing I ask for, equal opportunity. That's true.
Yes, but my only argument, you're not taking the entire first 16 years of that person's life. They're not equal in that fashion. That's the problem.
Mark, you're right. But what I'm saying,
how do you make that better? Then everything else follows.
Because it will change over time.
I guess
might have a little.
No, you're right. You're right. Because more people would break through.
Right. But right Now, these little kids in the fucking ghetto aren't even thinking about it. It's like, fuck that, man, let's deal drugs. They're not even thinking there's another way.
Yeah.
Because it's all
But
fucking...
the ones who really want it, they figure it out. The
Suzanne,
ones that really want it.
Suzanne, I've heard that, okay? And that's true. But that doesn't mean that some little fucking kid who's beat up his entire life doesn't really want it. It doesn't mean that. I was fucking beat up. And I know there are so many kids that I went to school with that were fucking, are still in that little town rotting. And they were smart as a motherfucker. Really smart little fucking kids. And I feel sorry for them. I'm not saying you give them money. I'm not even saying they stay in fucking school. Kick them the fuck out if they don't do any good.
Yeah, just I guess the opportunity.
I don't want anybody given anything except opportunity. You can't go wrong giving somebody opportunity. I wish.
Hey, Ants, did you say Master Root or 888?
Is that coming up now? 888. Is that coming up now?
Yeah.
Well, in a minute.
Yeah, you're going back to that family law one, right?
What?
You're going back to the family law one, right?
Yeah.
And then I held Rocky Mountain ID so you could kiss them goodbye in a little bit. I told them, let's hold over.
No, I want to. Yeah. Are we getting any questions off the air?
Tell them if they start putting that marijuana in their drips, like I said, they'll get a lot of questions.
I don't even know if it can be put in drips. But I guess where there's a will, there's a way.
Now that would get big.
So you're telling me they can make a gummy bear with pot in it, but they can't put it in a drip? You know they have a drip in that shit somewhere. You would think a cancer patient more than anything.
I'm telling you something. If they fucking did, they'd be off the charts.
Oh, I know. They'd never stop.
And what would be wrong with it?
I don't think anything once you can do it safely and have the right concoction.
Well, it's not a prescription.
Let's put it this way. You can go buy a Coke in any of these places, or not necessarily a Coke, but a bottle of fucking juice.
That's right.
Now, impact traffic.
You know what it is? It's going to be the first one to have the balls to do it. That's what it's going to be.
I think CBD.
What if they fuck someone up on it?
In fact, I got to order my CBD, man. I'm out. And that really helped me too. I got to order it right now.
I thought you were on that automatic boom boom.
No, not automatic. Because I get it.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, I discount.
Yeah.
3 to 4 inches of accumulation possible. Temperatures dropping into the teens overnight. That scattered snow continues tomorrow.
I really need to.
High in the mid-30s.
I should have done this so much sooner.
Denver. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Janine LaRose, 630 KU.
I love this shit.
About 10 seconds, 888 heating.
So needed to steal your identity. That's why LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
What would it mean to you if I said, hey, I'm going to give you 30% off this TV, but I never told you the price of the TV? It would mean nothing. Well, the folks at 888 Heating, I love what they do. Check it out. I said to them, they told me, they said, hey, we want to give $2,000 off. I said to the owner, Garrett, that doesn't mean anything to me. Would you give me what you're selling this thing for? He said, check it out, Mark. We're going to do starting prices. Of course, it depends on the size of the house. But right now, you can get into a new furnace, a new air conditioning unit, for starting at $8,500. That's with $2,000 off. Now, check this part out. You can also get 5 years, no interest. So the best price, the best interest rate, 0. And these are great guys. 888 Heating's been on our referral list for a long time. By the way, that's their website, 888 Heating, and that's also their phone number.
Hi, I'm host Robin Roberts, and on a new podcast from iHeartRadio, COVID-19.
They don't have the one I was looking for anymore.
Which one? Front lines. And the doctors
they know the real powerful one. They don't have it.
To roll up their sleeves.
I don't know what's going on.
Listen to COVID-19.
What are your thoughts of paying everything with a credit card, then pay off monthly using the liquid loan?
Oh,
essentially lowering
your interest. That's not a bad idea. But
many listeners have asked for a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, long as you go, guys, I mean, if the debt's there, fine. I mean, yeah.
Dimitri Kofinas on that topic. Dimitri,
what are your thoughts of paying everything with a credit card, than pay off monthly using liquid lumber. But it doesn't even.
I know at least.
Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Okay. I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. RealCBDThatWorks.com. I'm on right now ordering mine, I swear to you. During the break, I was doing that. RealCBDThatWorks.com. And you put Tom in the promo code, and you get 30% off. Now, let's go to the phones. I have a question for Rocky Mountain IV Medics coming up. We also have the Harris Law Firm. But a very quick question. Rocky Mountain IV Medics, I'll bring up both of them. Oh, dog. I disconnected one by mistake, Suzanne. But anyway, this is Ryan. And Ryan, somebody wants to know about something for sleeping. If they had, like, if people had insomnia, there's a weird question. You can come anytime. What if you came in the evening? Do you have stuff for sleeping?
Yeah, we do actually, and it's kind of interesting. The one of the biggest things that people see is taurine in energy drinks.
Yes,
and what we have found is that it actually counteracts the jittery, boosted, amped up feeling of an energy drink. So taurine can be added into our IVs, and we found that it actually can help relax the mind. It gives your mind the ability better to focus. So it was kind of funny. We figured it out mainly the hard way because someone had called us for fatigue. They wanted us there at 7 o'clock at night. They felt like they just couldn't stay up. They never were able to really get healthy sleep. Well, I guess they got lots of sleep. It just felt like that's all that they were doing.
Oh, okay.
So they call us, and they do a fatigue IV, which at the time was Myers cocktail and extra B12. Sure enough, she calls us at 2 a.m. and say, I can't sleep. So we had recommended taurine to help counteract that jittery feeling of extra B12, and she didn't want to go with the taurine. That is seriously the reason why she couldn't get back to sleep. Her mind was just ready to go, ready to
so this taurine slows the mind down. It would be good maybe for, racing mind, anxiety, insomnia, all that.
Exactly. It's not necessarily slowing the mind down in a negative way.
No.
It's just allowing you to focus so that, whenever you lay down in bed, you're thinking about 100 different things, and that's the reason why really you can't seem to shut it off. Taurine helps with that. So we have a lot of anxiety patients, insomnia patients, and even some patients that are like, hey, look, I've got studying to do. They're able to go through the taurine to really help them focus and get natural sleep.
All right, and this is Rocky Mountain IV Medics. .com. I'll give out that number in a minute, and they're going to have to leave soon, I think. I'm going to try to hold them. But we were talking to the Harris Law Firm as well, and here's the bottom line. This couple's been together about 20 years, okay? They're in their 80s right now, early 80s, 80 and 81. The guy's having health problems. The woman's saying, take a hike. And really, that's it. He helped build the house. He's a contractor. He physically helped build it. They had no mortgages. They bought 2 houses, one out of state, one in Colorado. There is a record of some payment of $400 a month to her. I don't know what that's about. She could say, hey, it was rent. We were never married, blah, blah, blah. But here's what I'd like to do. Michelle, I'd like your dad to talk to the Harris Law Firm when they're not on the air here, because I think what she said was very important. Katie, if you could recap that. Even if there's no evidence of marriage. Now, common law, it has a very low standard if they put themselves out as being married, even in a card or something. But also, you said there is there are some laws of equity, even if you're not married, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if the court doesn't find that they were married, there may still be an avenue for relief in a sort of civil lawsuit to try and reclaim some of the contribution he put in to those properties.
Michelle, how's your dad even feel about this, though? It's kind of strange you're calling in a way, but does he not even want to pursue it?
He's kind of not wanting to pursue it because he doesn't really have the energy to pursue it.
And what is his health issue, by the way?
Colorectal cancer.
So time is of the essence.
It is. And he is, he doesn't have savings accounts. He really is living off of Social Security. And he certainly, we could make other arrangements for him to come and stay with us or whatever, but, he shouldn't have to lose his independence if he doesn't want to.
Okay. And She won't even discuss. Do you know if she'll discuss a settlement? Like he gets a house, she gets a house?
We haven't approached her. It's a possibility, but I'm not holding my breath.
Does she have more money than him?
Absolutely, a lot more.
Where? Where'd she get it?
My whole point, though, is if the father doesn't want to fight this is going to go nowhere.
No, we understand that, but maybe he doesn't want to fight, as she said, because he doesn't think there's a hope. Maybe if someone talks to him. But what I'm getting at, where's the money? Where did her money come from?
She was a small business owner and owned a dry cleaners and alteration shop, so she's got that. Also, she never... This is very long and drawn out, too much information, but she never divorced her first husband so that she could claim benefits from being married to him.
Wow, that brings up...
No.
That brings up a hell of a question for Harris.
Yeah, I think...
You know what it is.
If she's never divorced the first husband, how could she even be married to someone else, Katie?
If the first husband's still alive, then no, you can't form a common law marriage while you're still married to someone else.
He's not? Hold on. He's not alive?
He's not alive.
When did he die? When did he die?
Oh, probably within the last 10 years. So I don't think it would really be a factor. But in building her little empire or whatever we want to call it, she really milked the system with benefits that he provided by her not divorcing him. There's a lot
Wait a minute. And would she have lost them if she was married?
Yes. If she divorced him, she would have lost them.
I'm not talking about divorcing. After he died, if they were still married when he died, and then she remarried, would she have lost anything?
I don't believe so. It's a retirement from, I believe, AT&T or something like that. So I don't believe that would be a factor that she's.
This is very complicated, and you know where we're going with this, Michelle. You got to get your dad. If your dad doesn't want to, they're not going to force him. But you got to go see. And these guys are uniquely suited to deal with this. They were dealing with same-sex couples before it was even a thing illegally, that people want domestic partnerships and all of that. They're very advanced in their law as far as partnerships and things like that, palimony and all of that.
How would spousal just curiosity, how would spousal benefits work? If she was married to him more than 10 years, the guy croaked, she's getting the spousal benefits. If she gets remarried, do they get rid of the spousal benefits?
Yeah, I think they do. I don't think you get those if you're remarried. I don't know. Katie, that might be something they need to pursue, but this is very complicated. As I said, though, you guys have done complicated partnerships before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of their fortes, really. The Harris Law Firm, harrisfamilylaw.com, 303-515-5000. That's 303-515-5000. Another question for Rocky Mountain IV Medics, and that is, I don't know, I keep hitting with my fat fingers. I keep disconnecting people, for goodness sakes. Anyway, Ryan, you're there. So, in all of the treatments, what basically is the most popular? Which one do people call for general wellness?
That's the Myers cocktail. That's actually what we recommend. It's actually one of our cheaper IVs, and it's the all general encompassing, hey, let's put as many of our good vitamins as we can in there.
All right, and that is, by the way, something they can get same day. They're same-day appointments. So you can call or text 720-987-2155. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that I do have to jump off. We've got some other appointments here. All right. Seriously, it's such a pleasure being with you. And because I was multitasking on the question about the insomnia, biggest thing, and I felt like I kind of answered it, but not clearly. But Myers cocktail with taurine added in. Taurine's the thing that helps.
Okay.
Any kind of special for first-time people?
You know, we discussed having things like that, but ultimately what we decided is to have our prices as cheap as possible, so that way you are getting the best deal every single time you call. I've always felt like, you know, if it's cheaper the first time, but then the second time I got to pay $50 more, it just kind of feels bad.
All right, that's fine. RockyMountainIVMedics.com, 720-987-2155. More coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Get your calls in, 303-713-TALK.
All right. Hey, Suze, what's that number again? That easier number for, I got to put it down, for Harris.
I totally disagree with no specials. Totally disagree with that.
I know. Of course you do.
10 seconds, Frank Duran, approval reverse.
Fair, buddy. So, debt really is more than just the interest you're forking over.
Listen to Out of Money on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, is available for market valuations of your home based on actual market conditions, and he'll let you know what he thinks he can get on the open market. It's a great person to have on your side with knowledge and expertise and passion for the business. If you list with Frank, you will never be disappointed. And of course, there is no obligation if he does a market analysis. So whether you're selling, thinking of selling, call him. Or if you want to buy something, he has a team to help you do that too. That's Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. And did you know that Frank can help you buy a home, and then you can get a reverse loan when you buy a home? You may not have thought of that. Yep, they're available. If you put enough money down and you're 62 or older, and the older you are, the less you have to put down, the rest can be handled in a reverse loan. How does that work? Well, after you close on the loan, after you close and make your payment, your down payment, that's all you do. Then you just pay insurance and taxes after that, and you never have a mortgage payment. And no matter how long you live in that home, you get to stay there. And your estate will never owe more than the house is worth, ever. Approval Reverse is one of the approved lenders we love, approvalreverse.com. You can call Joan and her team at Approval Reverse Mortgage, 303-771-3528. That's 303-771-3528.
I got a Zoom meeting at 1:30, so you know. I got to go into the office.
Who is it?
With referral list. It's
one of these people you're helping. Got it.
No. They're helping us.
Okay, so
it's not.
Did you need a certain number?
I want to put down that one that you have for
Harris, 303-515-5000 or something like that?
1-800-ATTORNEY.
Oh, you got it. I got the new one.
You did. I think you corrected that last week when we had him on.
Yeah, it's much easier.
I don't know what number. I don't know where you got the number you got. You know.
It's probably a tracking number. Make sure we're not.
No, because we asked Rich. We asked Rich.
Like the stars.
I know, even the stars.
Right now, radio listeners get 25% off, plus 1 free week when you go to
515-5000/relax.
To get the special offer, go to Blinkist.com/relax. That's BLINK.
By the way, remember, I got to talk this Friday. You got to finish.
This Friday, though, I got to go out for lunch for a while.
Okay. Good. Have fun.
Strategies or long-term care. Listen to Mile High Retirement.
Let Ants wrap the show.
No property. We'll do some live rapping. We just got to make sure he bleeps out his own words.
Rap is hard.
He can fucking talk fast, man. That's a talent within itself.
So listen, I'll bet you these fucking closing arguments go until tomorrow.
Jeez, I don't know. Yeah. You know, the prosecution will get another one. So it goes prosecution, defense, and then prosecution.
You know why?
Well, because they have the burden.
Yeah. I think it's wrong.
I think it's fucking wrong, too. It's funny you say that. I think whoever goes last has a better shot.
I know. And I think it's wrong to give it to, I think the accused should have all the benefit.
Well, here's during arguments, during the trial, at least the defense gets to go second and refute everything that was just said. But the closing arguments are important as shit, man. That's what they go away with remembering, you know? Now, how about if you had an attorney? Who's the best hypnotist you ever met? Do you think there's any fucking attorneys out there that could, like, somehow hypnotize a fucking jury?
But there are tricks.
Oh, I'm sure.
To getting them on your side.
I bet a good attorney who can look over there and tell who's paying attention,
of course
who's thinking what.
And they target the strong ones. That's what they do. They target the strong ones.
You never watched that one on HBO yet, did you, where the judge killed the kid?
Yeah, good.
Fuck, that was good.
I hated it. I loved it every minute.
I didn't like the ending, but I loved it. The ending was fucked up, man.
He ended up losing his son.
It was almost like a Sopranos ending. It was kind of, I liked it, but I didn't like it.
He lost his son, man.
I know.
Oh, my God.
And he did look at everything he did to not, you know what I mean. Not to lose him in death, but to lose him. That was a great show, man. And what really sucks, what did the kid do wrong? It was a total fuck up. He had to reach down because he was having an asthma attack to get his thing. If he just stayed there and did everything.
Well, the father was bringing him
they can do to help.
into the police.
The answer is yes. At BioLife Plasma.
That's right, but then they saw who the fuck the kid was. What would you do, man? What would you fucking do if that was like Bonnie? And then all of a sudden you see it's a fucking mafioso.
In your first month as a token of appreciation.
And you know there's going to be no. You already know they're going to fucking. How do you say, well, you know, he wouldn't have left the scene, but he did.
Why did he?
He just panicked. Total panic. Total panic. There was another car that was kind of following type thing. So I'm not sure if maybe he was a little motivated to leave for that, but I think it was more or less total panic is how they portrayed it.
I think the kid was going to kill.
Regardless. That's what I'm saying.
He was marked for a hit. The other kid. The gangster.
Oh, I don't remember that anymore.
Yeah. You wait. That car was following him. A black SUV, and then slowed down, watched, and took off.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Don't forget free insurance checkups. That's from Compass Insurance Group, theinsurancehelpcenter.com, 303-996-9000. Free insurance checkups. Do one at least every 2 years. You could be saving a ton of money. Okay, let's talk.
Real quick. I'm getting ready to sign a release, so before I sign it, I want to tell you that AT&T, when I sued AT&T, I sent them in 4 phones. They claimed they never got one of the 4, which was worth $850 on the upgrade to the new phone. Then they said they did get it, and the screen was cracked. Well, it wasn't. So it took me literally suing these guys, and I got the settlement today. Not only do I get the $850, but I get $500 one-time credit plugged onto my account. So that's 12 for 12. So if AT&T's messing with you out there in the same circumstance, just take them to small claims court.
You know, small claims court has become a very valuable tool, but here's the deal. The unfortunate part is not all companies have a presence where you can sue them in small claims court. And to me, it seems like it behooves them not to have a presence in many states because they open up the door for small claims.
Yeah, so AT&T, of course, the address I used was just one of their corporately owned stores where you walk in and buy a phone. I did everything over the web, but because they do have a presence,
right?
Thank you. That's
Can they argue venue, though? Could they?
It wouldn't be worth it. They had to be to court. I mean, it wouldn't be worth it.
All right. So far, he was successful on companies where he can choose the venue here. But if they are not here, then you have a tough time.
Look at the rideshare company I won with. I can't say the name of them anymore, but there's not many rideshare companies. I left my phone in the car. The driver refused to call me back. They happened to have a training center out here in Colorado. Bam, bam. That was $1,500.
303-713-TALK. I'm 1 for 1 against a bank who didn't pay.
No, it was worse than that. They did not want to send one of your checks through, and I have no idea why.
They said it was suspect.
Yeah, something, and it wasn't
And
suspect.
I told them to pay it, and they still didn't pay it when he redeposited.
And they didn't want to do anything, and that was worth X amount to you.
Right. So anyway, you know, don't ever underestimate the power of small claims court.
Wait, one more. This one's great. A lady calls in. You'll remember this. She was at, what's the name of the hamburger place? Red Robin. She bites into it. a bone breaks her tooth. They said because under the FDA, that size bone is allowed in a hamburger, whatever the hell that means, that they weren't going to pay anything. We held her hand. She went through the small claims process and got like $4,000 in dental bills. They took care of everything.
They did. They really did. Okay, Paul. What's happening, Paul?
You know what it sounds like?
Paul.
Hello?
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, Tom, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
Well, what we've got going on is I'm a repair shop that took a customer's car in and looked it over and then made a recommendation to them that they needed a brake job and an oil pan reseal.
Okay.
And they went away at that time and thought about it until they were at a local tire shop. And the tire shop was doing their job doing tires, and they said, well, we can do those brakes, and we can reseal your oil pan as well. So they went ahead and engaged the other local repair shop to go ahead and get that work done. When the customer went ahead and took the car away after those repairs were done, they noticed that they still had an oil leak. So they ended up bringing the car back to us. At that point in time, we intook the car, we popped the hood, we did one of the first cursory things that you do when you're considering anything to do with oil, is we went to check the oil level. And we did that by trying to pull the dipstick out of the tube. Well, that wasn't successful because the end of the dipstick was actually trapped between the oil pan and the bottom of the engine block.
Wait a minute. How did that happen?
Well, so typically when you do an oil change, or an oil pan reseal, you pull the engine oil dipstick and then you put it back in after the job is done to prevent the oil dipstick being pinched between the bottom of the oil pan and the bottom.
But don't you have to be pretty much a clueless moron to have that happen to begin with, even if you didn't take the dipstick out? When you drop that pan, that dipstick is still there. When you put the pan back, can't you feel if something is on the flange of that pan when you're screwing it in or bolting it in? For God's sakes, it would be so apparent.
I'm absolutely with you. Plus, the due diligence of the technician at that point, let's just think it the rest of the way through. He might not have noticed that, which we just talked about. But the next step is to
start it up,
put the oil back in the car, and then of course your due diligence at that point is to check the dipstick to make sure that the engine oil.
And he wouldn't have been able to. So was this dipstick actually screwed? But the pan went up between, and it was stuck between the pan flange and the engine.
Yes, absolutely.
That's stupid. He didn't even notice that the pan was going on crooked. There would be a little. Well, look I know they're thin, these dipsticks, but come on, it's more than a gasket width.
Yes. No, it's clearly almost an eighth of an inch thick, the part that was engaged, and of course the broken off portion of the bottom of the poor people's engine block. That's the only place where it could have gotten to. The dipstick's not that long, So,
wait a minute. So how much damage is there right now other than just needing a new dipstick? Did it bend the dipstick or break it?
They need a new engine.
Wait. Hold on a second. How do they need a whole new engine?
Because that piece that got broken off by the dipstick being trapped between those two places.
Wait. What got broken off, sir? What got broken off?
A corner of the aluminum casting of your short block. They call that
right.
The part of your engine.
The part of the block that drops down to accept the oil pan. You're telling me that a part of that was actually broken because of the pressure exerted with the dipstick up against it.
Absolutely.
But hold on a sec. Hold on. You're telling me in all of our today's technology, there is no way to repair a little chip out of a metal engine.
It's a pretty good-sized chip now. So subsequently, the customer came to us and said, why is it still leaking?
An aluminum welder could not, an aluminum welder could not shape a piece to fit there.
Not economically, absolutely not. You have to remove the engine, do that welding, and then you'd have to machine it to be a good gasket surface to mate with that oil.
Oh, my God. He needs a new short block. Are we kidding?
Nope.
How many miles on this? How many miles on this engine?
128,000. It's a 05 Honda Accord.
How much is an engine with that many miles on it? Because that's all they owe them. They owe them that engine and labor. They don't owe them a new engine.
That's true. To settle for that, the price of that, the estimated value of that car with that kind of mileage on it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So how much would an engine, if you were looking for a used engine with that many miles on it, a Honda engine, what would it cost?
So we called Honda and asked them the price of their short block.
Yeah, well, okay. But that doesn't matter.
$3,000.
Yeah, but that's not even in the ballpark. You should call a junkyard and find out how much is the engine or the short block with that many miles on it, and then add the labor to it.
That's a good point.
The only short block we found was from Honda, and they had no idea when they could deliver it.
All right, listen. I know what you're doing. You're trying to assess your damage, and you sound reasonable. But let me explain this to you. It doesn't matter if that's all they have. Let me give you an example. And again, I'm going to go back to this tired and true example. If you came to me with a half an apple, and you wanted me to candy coat it, and I took your apple and broke it, or you couldn't eat it anymore, I would have to buy you a half apple. But I went around to all the stands, and none of them sell half apples. I could only find a brand new full apple, and it cost me, let's say, $3,000. I would only have to pay half of that cost, and you would be in a weird position to have to pay for what is called betterment. Okay, this is a concept. This is a concept that no one gets until they get to court and they say, "Oh, Tom was right," because you're never going to get them to pay for something more than they did to you. Hold on, we got more coming up. Hold on.
This Granite Liquidators Simply Floors. I'll put it in the spot alerts.
And Dan Catalyst.
Granite Liquidators and
HOW.
10 Simply Floors.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, 270 running heavy in both directions on the Commerce City Drive, but the rest of the highway drive around the metro area looks good. If you're headed to the Springs, southbound I-25 is closed at Garden of the Gods. That's because of a fatal accident, so that could be an extended closure. Off freeway, there's a crash on northbound Parker Road at the I-225 interchange. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, cloudy this afternoon with some rain showers turning to snow tonight. 3 to 4 inches of accumulation possible. Temperatures dropping into the teens overnight. And then tomorrow for your Tuesday, scattered snow showers continue with a high in the mid-30s. It's 38 right now in Denver. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Janine LaRose, 630 KHOW.
Identity thieves love.
All right, 10 seconds. Granite Liquidators and Simply Floors.
That's why LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
SimplyFloorsInc.com. Where would you go if you wanted just floors? Well, that says it all. SimplyFloorsInc.com. INC. Now, that's where you're going to find Buddy and Karen Mitchell's website for their store. And they're at 52nd and Ward, the southwest corner, but you don't have to go there. They'll make an appointment for your home where you can pick out whatever you're interested in. They'll bring all of the latest samples with better pricing than even the big boxes, better installations as well, and better warranties because they stand behind everything. SimplyFloorsInc.com. You know, another store I became associated with that I love, actually, it's a big yard, Granite Liquidators up in Wheat Ridge. Now listen, graniteliquidators.com is where you go to find granite, marble, and quartzite. And you buy the whole slab. You don't have to look at tiny little samples. You walk the yard and you say, oh, I love it, this stone. And you may want one section for your vanity and one section for your kitchen, and maybe a little remnant for a windowsill. That's what you get when you buy the whole stone. And it's cheaper than buying from other places because it's wholesale to the public. They put your name on it, and you get to keep it. Your contractor comes and picks it up no matter who does the fabricating and installing. GraniteLiquidators.com.
Are you curious when you should take Social Security? This is Kurt Cambier. Visit my website now for your free Social Security analysis at KurtCambier.com. That's Kurt with a K, CAMBIER.com. Kurt with a K, Cambier.com.
Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer, member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advisor representative, Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Centennial Capital Partners are not affiliated.
My wife is probably the healthiest person I know. She eats right, she's always physically active, but for some reason she's had some very naughty and uncooperative teeth. Long story short, those teeth had to go. Fortunately, Kristen got help, as you can, at Aspenwood Dental Associates and the Colorado Dental Implant Center, where Drs. Yaros, Augustine, Zeppelin, and Son represent the leading edge of dental implant technology and care. Just several weeks ago, Aspenwood Dental completed an implant and what's called a 3-tooth bridge for Kristen. I can't say I understand it all, but what I know is that if you see Kristen's mouth now, thanks to Aspenwood Dental, you absolutely cannot tell which are her original teeth and which are the new ones. And if anything, the implants are stronger and better than the originals. Kristen was overjoyed with the quality of care at Aspenwood, the kindness and friendliness of the staff, and you will be too. Whether you need implants or dentures, or even your regular checkups and cleanings, go where Kristen and I go, Aspenwood Dental. Learn more and get started with a free consultation at AspenwoodDental.com. That's AspenwoodDental.com.
Rockies baseball is back, and a limited number of tickets are available for their second homestand. Be at Coors Field to see Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, Rydell Tapia, and the Rockies take on the Mets, Astros, and Phillies April 16th through the 25th. Go to Rockies.com/tickets today.
Do roller coaster stock markets make you nervous? With such frequent ups and downs, don't let market volatility derail your retirement. Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, Saturday on 630 KHEL. If you're concerned about the markets, call today to schedule a complimentary review of your portfolio. Call 720-488-8604. That's 720-488-8604. Or online, yourmoneyyourretirement.com.
Tune into Peace to You from Peace Lutheran Church in Arvada this Sunday. Peace to You brings you encouragement and a fresh, uplifting start to your week. Peace to You comes every Sunday, right here on 630 KHEL at 7:30 a.m.
Is your vision of home not turning out quite the way you planned it? Let the experts at CertaPro Painters paint you a more colorful view. Get a free estimate today and let CertaPro Painters create your new dream space. Listening, prepping, and painting every wall while handling every detail worry-free. Times may have changed, but our trusted service and expertise remains the same. To get your painting project started, go to CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Say hello to simple you can savor. Velo dissolvable nicotine lozenges are smoke-free and hassle-free and made to enjoy virtually anywhere. Why? Because they dissolve, but the flavor doesn't. So go ahead and enjoy on your time and on your terms. Velo lozenges are available at a convenience store near you or at Velo.com. Get yours now. Website restricted to age 21 plus nicotine consumers. Nicotine products. Underage sale prohibited.
This is Dave Logan, the law offices of Dane Campbell, a serious law firm for serious cases. About 15 seconds, guys. You're back in.
With Michael Brown.
President Kamala Harris welcomes the Japanese Prime Minister to the White House, while Vice President Biden plays with his mom's tail. We'll talk about that too.
Tom Martino here, waterpros.net. That's the website. It's a very simple brochure website to get you to Paul the Waterman for the best prices anywhere on the best systems anywhere. It's that simple. I wish it was more complicated, but it's not. Water softening, the best price. Under $2,000 for the whole house. Yeah, you won't believe it because the other places are charging $6,000 and $7,000 for inferior stuff. This is the truth, okay? And you won't be scared into it. If you want water filtration or water softening, whole house systems, under $2,000, fully installed. Waterpros.net. Jason, your turn. You have a comment on the guy who called in, and we're going back to him, Paul. Paul is a auto mechanic. He said he encountered a problem where a shop did a shoddy installation and cracked the part of the short block, chipped off a piece of the short block on an older Honda Accord, and now they're trying to get some damages, which I am fully supportive of. Calculating those damages are weird. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I'm just curious, Tom, how big is the broken piece, and why can't you just put some silicone in it and seal it up? I mean, like every dipstick that I've ever seen, even on big equipment, is pretty small. So I don't know. You know, I asked that, and I even went a step further on. You know, they have so many materials nowadays that are so advanced. I don't know if silicone would do it, but Paul, how big? I mean, when you look at the oil pan bolted up on it, how much of a hole is there?
It's about a 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch chunk that's missing now.
Oh my goodness!
And when it went back to this store, they went ahead and they did try to just push a bunch of silicone in there to seal it.
No, that's not going to work. Listen, when this is up on a lift and you're standing under it, are you telling me they could not clean that enough and ground it to where an aluminum welder could get some material in there?
No, they could absolutely do that, but then the next step would be try to resurface that mating area so that it would not leak.
Okay, what I'm getting at is this. They overfill it and then grind it, right? And then the surface, somebody got disconnected. I think it's our site. Hold on a sec. Yeah. So I think, Paul, is the surface would be, that's what gaskets are for, if they're not perfect, right? Is Paul the one? Oh, no, I'm sorry. There you go, Paul. Sorry.
So, yes, if somebody could get that filled in with some fresh aluminum and then they could grind it flat, I don't think you could get in there with a grinder and do a sufficient job without actually pulling the engine to do that.
Okay. I don't have a vision of it, so it's hard for me to say. But, man, I hope your owner, your customer realizes that just because the only one out there is $3,000 doesn't mean they're obligated to pay it. I mean, there's a limit to damage, and they don't have to upsell them. I mean, in other words, they don't have to give them something better than they destroyed. There's got to be a monetary value of some kind. I mean, first of all, let's start here. What's the car worth?
That's a good question. For a 05 Honda, I've got to say it's running right around a $2,500, tops $3,000 price.
Right. So they're obviously not going to buy a short block because that would be 100% of the whole damn car. So he's going to have to make, this is where negotiation and settlement comes in. I know there are those listening right now that see black and white and say this, wait a minute, no matter what, you owe it to me. You broke it, you got to fix it. In a way, it's true. But there's also what's called a total damage cap, and then depreciation and betterment and all kinds of things that go into damages. It's a terrible thing when you're on the receiving end of that. You know, I mean, we've had some ridiculous cases where it was ridiculous. We had a person driving, listen to this, a guy had his car parked, and it had 200 and something thousand miles on it. It was parked. Somebody ran into it, and basically it was more damage than the car was worth. So the guy said, what if they totaled the car and he wanted to buy it back? What it turned out to be is he's minding his own business at home. Somebody comes and destroys his car. Then basically he gets to keep his car and drive it. That was the award because the damages that were awarded to him were taken right back because he wanted to keep the salvage. It's so ridiculous when you get into older property that damaging older property almost has no consequence. It's crazy, but true. So we have to figure out a negotiation here. Are they willing to talk to him at least, or are they being unreasonable?
They so far have felt like they're being unreasonable to me, that's for sure.
Well, perhaps you are asking.
Exactly. We called up and we said we think you guys should buy this poor lady a short block so that she has a car still.
Yeah.
And really what we should be doing is saying we think that you should be willing to settle with this lady for the estimated value of her vehicle.
That would be one thing. But did they total it, or can it be fixed? I mean, that's where negotiation. There is no perfect answer here, but they have to do something. I mean, these idiots did something wrong. They have to understand that. Now, if you want, we could have Deputy Smarty Pants. He's good at negotiating these kinds of settlements. We can have somebody help you if you want. Tell Suze what you want, and we'll try to figure it out. 303-713-8255. I know I should take a break because I'm running behind. I just want to get started here, though. Lucille. What's going on, Lucille?
Hi there, Tom. How are you today?
Good. What's happening with you?
Okay, so I'm calling in regards to the HOA Matters situation. I know you've talked with several people.
Oh, are you at
this matter?
Are you at the Peachtree thing condos?
Yes, I am.
Man, there are a lot of you getting hung up with this. Hold on a second. Yeah. Let me come back to you, all right? I don't want to run out of time.
Now, Mile High, say in a minute.
Report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, 270 running heavy in both directions on Commerce City Drive, but the rest of the highway drive around the metro area looks good. If you're headed to the Springs, southbound I-25 is closed at Garden of the Gods. That's because of a fatal accident, so that could be an extended closure. On freeway,
well, you said it I think in your email. Okay, that's what I was asking. Big O, yeah, no problem at all. Big O, let's see. Help settling. Hang on just a second. I wonder if I should have my deputy reach right out to your customer, or should he call you for the information?
10 seconds, Mile High State Planning.
Monitor and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RACE.
If you have an estate
okay,
or a question,
what is their name and phone number?
It's comforting to know that you can call my expert, who is also your expert, MileHighEstatePlanning.com, and it's Blake Harris, attorney at law.
I use Blake for my estate plan, and you should too. You can trust him. Here's what I love about Mile High Estate Planning. They don't charge for the talking, they just charge for the walking. In other words, whatever they actually do for you, he charges. Like a will have a flat rate. A trust. Maybe you need a beneficiary deed for a house, or a combination of all of the above. Maybe you need to avoid probate, or you're facing a probate. I love Blake Harris and MileHighEstatePlanning.com. All you do is call him and say, Blake, here's what you do. I need this and I need that. He'll ask you questions as well. And then it's a great marriage of ideas to get you the plan you need. And it's all about protection for you and for your heirs. And what I like is he's available at any time. You call. And if he doesn't answer right away, he'll get back to you with answers. So here's what you do. 833-ASK-BLAKE. 833-ASK-BLAKE.
Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, and even replacing windows and doors, Hot Dance Security done like home improvements. For well over 3 decades now, we've been serving Colorado families upgrading their homes. And as you very well know, we all find ourselves in some new and very unique times. But you know, our company is blessed to not only be surviving, but thriving. So thank you, Colorado, for
for your continued trust and loyalty. Thus, we are seeing some of the highest numbers of customers calling in for new work in our history, and we are so very thankful to be able to do our part to help put Colorado back to work. So yes, Dunright is now hired. We have employment opportunities in almost all divisions of our company, so if you or someone you know is talented in our areas of work, has a deep sense of pride and workmanship, and holds old school values true to their heart, give us a call. 800-362-8370 or drhi.com. The time is right. As always, whether we're working for you or you're part of our Dunright family, you have our word we'll treat you right at Dunright.
Season after season, quality's the reason people trust K&H Home Solutions. Beautiful windows, siding, and doors, roofing, gutters, and more.
65 years in business. Happy anniversary to K&H Home Solutions. The best products, installation, and warranties. K&H has what you're looking for. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. Such amazing products and special anniversary deals. Soft light windows, $650 discount on each one. The only window earning the government's Energy Star rating 7 years straight. Everlast siding, $6,500 off. The most durable color fast siding ever. And $1,650 off Provia entry doors purchased with storm doors. Some minimums apply. Call for details, 303-421-7100. Submit your own appointment now at khwindows.com.
K&H Home Solutions has what you're looking for.
Hello, good neighbor. Pat Boone here. You know, for years I've been warning Americans about the secret war on cash by big government, targeting your money and your privacy. Now, recent reports confirm that some banks are refusing to cash checks, and cash is being confiscated from innocent citizens. I'm serious. It's truly shocking. The folks at Swiss America have detailed all the dirty little government secrets in their free report, The Secret War on Cash, and it's available now by calling 800-630-1492. Why don't you write that down, 800-630-1492. Because time's running out to take action. Don't become the next victim in this battle. Get The Secret War on Cash. Call 800-630-1492. And be sure to tell them Pat Boone gave you this number. 800-630-1492. 800-630-1492.
Hi there, Barry Miller. You always get tipped off rather than ripped off when you listen to our real estate shows Saturday mornings from 8 a.m. until 10, right here on 630 KHOW.
The state government option will give politicians greater control over your health care, threatening the coverage you already have and increasing costs. Tell politicians we cannot afford their state government option at coloradoshealthcarefuture.org.
Sheridan Auto Tech is special because of the man behind the business. Kevin Compton, the owner, is honorable and will never sell you anything you don't need. He will take care of you like one of his own. He has thousands of loyal customers and has been in business for 20 years. 303-455-7242 on Colfax, just west of Wadsworth, or in Aurora, 303-455-7242. Sheridan Auto Tech.
6:30 KHOW. Your chance to win $1,000. Listen at 5 past the hour for the 12K a day giveaway. Listen to the keyword and enter it on our website, KHOW.com, for your chance to win $1,000. Sponsored by Kyrie.
The spring sale is going on now.
All right, about 10 seconds left.
Stop by any of their 22 Front Range locations and save today. For locations and hours, visit GUIRYS.com. Guy Reeves, your neighborhood paint store since 1899.
All right, let's go right to Lucille. Lucille, listen. Let me guess. This assessment, there's a special assessment, and I want everyone listening. That special assessment, that one was ordered, and you have insurance to cover it, but you just moved in there, and the insurance will not go back to the day. The insurance says it was before you owned it, right?
Exactly.
Do you know how many? There are so many people. There are so many people being caught by this. Let me explain to people what this is, so they don't get caught. When you get a condo or a townhome and you're hit with a special assessment for storm damage of any kind, whether it be a roof, siding, windows, whatever it is, if you're hit with a special assessment, for anything that would be an insurable event, your insurance will pay up to whatever you're insured for, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever. Some people have coverage up to $10,000 in special assessments. However, this is where the problem is. Many of those policies do not go by the date of assessment. They go back to the date of loss. And if you didn't own it when the loss happened, when the storm happened, they won't go back and pay it. Now, Lucille, most policies will pay from date of assessment, but yours won't. And for some reason, so many people who moved into Peachtree are in the same boat. So is that what you're facing?
Yes, it is. Let me start from the beginning. I actually moved in 2.5 months prior to them sending out that letter.
I get it, but the storm happened before you moved in, right?
Correct.
That's why you're
back in 2018.
That's why your insurance is turning it down.
Correct. And the problem is I am currently unemployed. I had been taking care of my mom for 22 years, and she passed away back in July.
Now, Lucille, you understand, when it comes to the assessment, they don't care, right? You know that, right?
No, they don't care. They don't care. They want you to pay.
But, Lucille, you could have an action against the people that sold it to you.
Okay.
Because they should have told you about it, and you can go after them. I want you to hold on so we don't run out of time, because we need to help you go after them. We talked to our real estate expert, Frank Duran, the real estate man, and he said they should have told you. So hold on, and Suzanne will get you on tomorrow. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget, save all your problems for me.
Follow Tom Martino. Tom Martino. Stay connected. It's spring. Fortunately for some, more fast. For worse, you're free to buy talent check. The IRS is in full force, vigorously making up.
I just hate complaining. Fuck. Normally, I just don't even call it. This is like I went back in time. I had gotten out of all my fucking treatments like motherfucker. Yeah, I'm going to a chiropractor to see if that helps. Because that helps, that helps. I mean, who knows? It feels like I'm sick.
Or like you're getting sick.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people say after their second shot.
Now I'm all nervous.
Jesus, I hope you don't have any. No, you're young. I don't think you will.
Working during the pandemic is a challenge. Your employer must protect you from COVID-19 on the job. If you are concerned about COVID-19 hazards at your worksite, you have the right to file a complaint. State laws protect you. For more information about your rights at work and how to exercise them, visit dir.ca.gov/COVID. Your health and safety is important. So remember, wear a mask, wash your hands, and keep 6 feet apart. For more information about your rights at work, visit dir.ca.gov/COVID.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeart radio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one.
ABC News, I'm Andrew Dimber. Closing arguments taking place in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Defense attorney Eric Nelson contending that in putting his knee on George Floyd's neck, Chauvin was simply doing as he was trained.
Non-deadly force is included. It includes, but it is not limited to, physically subduing, controlling, capturing, restraining, or physically managing a person. These are the policies of the Minneapolis Police Department.
But earlier, prosecuting attorney Steve Sletcher appealing to the jury to act on what they felt when they saw the video.
It's what you now know in your heart. This wasn't policing. This was murder.
Chauvin charged with murder and manslaughter. An investigation is underway following the deadly crash of a Tesla near Houston. Authorities say it appears the vehicle was an autopilot and apparently no one was behind the wheel. This is ABC News. New information